Biggest game in the season right here, ladies. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win. Let's make it happen out here, baby. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Donovan McNabb leading the Philadelphia Eagles out onto the field on a chilly Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the Bengals and the Eagles on Fox. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Kenny Albert along with Moose and Goose, Daryl, Johnston, and Tony Siragusa. For the Philadelphia Eagles, is the glass half empty or half full? The Eagles 5-4 coming off a disappointing Sunday night loss to the best team in the NFC, the New York Giants. But Daryl, they lost by only 5 points and they scored 31.
Well, the glass is definitely half full for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you look at them offensively and what they've done all season, it's pretty impressive, except for one glaring weakness. Their short yardage and goal line running. And it's taken, in my opinion, a team that could be 7-2 down to 5-4. They have the biggest offensive line in the NFL. They have one of the most explosive running backs in the NFL. They have to be better than that at this stage of the season.
And today the Eagles go up against the Cincinnati Bengals squad without their starting quarterback, Carson Palmer. Bengals coming off a bye in their last game. They finally won for the first time this season over Jacksonville.
Finally something positive for the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is going all the way back to the beginning of the year. In training camp, Chad Johnston, TJ Houshmandzadeh kind of out, in and out of the lineup. They start the season out of sync. Right when they start to hit their stride, Carson Palmer goes down. Add to that the fact that they've struggled running the ball, and it's been not a good offensive start for the Cincinnati Bengals. But Goose, we've got that dangerous word out there, potential. They have the potential to be a big play offense on Sunday afternoons.
They really do, Moose. And you mentioned with Chad Johnston and TJ Houshmandzadeh. But you know what? All week you hear from the Eagles media and just everybody talking about, oh, the Eagles offense on the 4th and 1, the 3rd and 1. Listen, they scored 31 points. I wish when I played in the NFL, my offense scored 31 points. The pressure is on. They need to step up on defense. They cannot go and let up 36 like they did last week. That's what I'll be focusing on today, to see what those guys go and how they recover off of giving up so many points last week.
Nice hat, Goose. Time now for our Yellow Book Future Faces. Yellow Book and yellowbook.com say yellow to the future. The Eagles' Deshaun Jackson, one of the top rookie receivers in the NFL. And on the other side, Shinadum Ndukwe, the Bengals' second-year safety out of Notre Dame. To learn more about this week's Yellow Book Future Faces, go to foxsports.com/future faces. Eagles, Bengals next on Fox. 38-degree afternoon in Cincinnati, wind chill at 29. How do you think the weather might affect this game?
Well, obviously the wind, we were down there on the field pregame, and the wind is going to be the big factor. These guys are used to playing in the cold. That's not going to really have an impact on them, but that wind could be an issue in the kicking game with special teams. And also, you know, the potential of this Bengals offense to have that explosive capability is in the passing game. So we'll see what kind of impact it has, but I think the wind will be the biggest factor.
Bengals won the toss. David Akers gets things started. Kickoff taken at the 4 by Glenn Holt. Holt across the 25, the 30. So Ryan Fitzpatrick in his 4th season out of Harvard, leading the Bengals offense out. Fitzpatrick making his 6th start for the injured Carson Palmer.
And finally starting to gel with the other guys. It's a lot to ask a backup quarterback to come in and replace a guy like Carson Palmer. And, you know, Marvin Lewis told us this. The other 10 guys have to be, you know, almost perfect because Carson's not there to save him. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is getting to the point now where he's going to be able to do a little bit more offensively.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line as Fitzpatrick finds his man out of the backfield, Cedric Benson. And Benson takes it all the way into Eagles territory before he's tackled by Asante Samuel. Benson gains 21.
One of the plays that you want to run against a defense that's going to be aggressive is the screen. And we'll keep an eye on Cedric Benson. It's not an easy play. I think a lot of people underestimate the difficulty. Look at how he has to work to find his way out there. The linemen have to stay in to pick up everybody. They don't even get a chance to release on the screen.
Benson playing in his 6th game with the Bengals, the former 1st-round draft pick by the Chicago Bears. From the Eagles 49, this is Benson. Benson gains 2 down to the 47. As we check out the Bengals on offense.
Well, Cedric Benson has kind of added a spark to the running game, and that will be important today. There's your big playmakers on the outside, but the big matchup, the offensive line of the Bengals against the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Bengals' offensive line are big. Now, can they play physical and control the line of scrimmage, which was one of the key problems in that loss to the Giants last Sunday night for this Eagles defense.
3 wide receivers set for the Bengals on 2nd and 8. Fitzpatrick to Benson. Benson to the 44. Gain of 3. Roderick Bunkley made the tackle. 3rd down and 5 upcoming. Eagles defense ranked 9th, but as you mentioned, they allowed 38 points on Sunday.
38 points on Sunday. Tony mentioned he's going to be keeping an eye on him. One of the big things in a game like that against a good offensive line of the New York Giants, they controlled the line of scrimmage. They dictated time of possession, over 200 yards rushing. Not a good performance by that front last Sunday night.
3rd down and 5. Bengals have to get to the 39 for a 1st down. High snap. Fitzpatrick stands in the pocket and had the pass batted back.
That's one thing these Philadelphia Eagles defensive linemen need to do. They need to go and penetrate. Right here you see they're not in 2 gap. They're coming up the field, squeezing the pocket, putting the pressure on. That's exactly what they need to do that they didn't do last week against the New York Giants.
Deshaun Jackson back deep, awaiting Kyle Larson's punt. Larson punting from the 45. Fair catch called for at the 14 by Jackson. So a big play for the Bengals, 21 yards on their opening play, but could not pick up another 1st down. Back in Cincinnati, Donovan McNabb and the Philadelphia Eagles start from their own 15-yard line. Brian Westbrook in the backfield along with the fullback, Dan Klecko. McNabb to the air on 1st down. The pass a bit high, intended for Westbrook off his hands.
Well, Donovan McNabb was hurt last year. He's back healthy this year. He's got to kind of carry the burden the same way that Brian Westbrook carried the burden for him last year when he was coming back from that ACL. And the offensive line is going to be key. They are outstanding in their pass protection, given up very few sacks this season, but they've got to come off the ball and be more physical. Look at the size of these guys. I mean, they are big up front. They've got to start playing up to their size.
Eagles empty the backfield. 4 receivers. Pass is caught by Reggie Brown, but he fights his way back to the line of scrimmage, and Duque made the tackle.
Kind of following up what has happened the last few weeks, Donovan McNabb not being able to get into any type of rhythm. And you see what's happened the last 3 weeks, Atlanta, Seattle, and the Giants 0 for 8 at the start of that game last weekend, hoping to start this game a little bit quicker, but as evidenced by those first 2 plays, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Now, one thing about this Bengals defense, they are very aggressive and they run to the ball. Marvin Lewis makes sure of that. And, that screen pass, I'll tell you what, they were all over it.
McNabb firing downfield on 3rd and 10, incomplete. He was looking for Kevin Curtis.
Not only looking for Kevin Curtis, but he had Kevin Curtis. And the Cincinnati Bengals at pre-snap, they've got everybody walked up into the front, showing blitz. Everybody backs out. Donovan McNabb, not hurried, not under pressure, but watch, here's Kevin Curtis. He's coming right in the middle right there. He is open. He sets it down in a nice spot, and Donovan McNabb misses it.
Eagles go 3 and out. Sav Rocca, end-over-end punt taken at the 38 by Antonio Chapman, the former Green Bay Packer, penalty marker, as Chapman brings it out to the 45, 47-yard punt, 7 on the return. Tony Correnti, our referee this afternoon.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 20. This penalty be enforced from the spot where the kick ended, 10 yards, 1st down.
Penalty is on David Jones, of the Bengals. There he is, number 20. Bengals start from their own 29 following the penalty on the punt return. 3 wide receivers. Fitzpatrick hands it off to Benson. And Cedric Benson gains 3 out to the 32-yard line. Bengals brought in Benson. They lost their quarterback, Carson Palmer. Look at their offensive rankings in their 6 seasons under head coach Marvin Lewis.
Well, they were making a progression there back in 2005. Really turned it around. It really became one of the more exciting offenses to watch throughout the entire NFL. Now, you lose Carson Palmer. The running game has been the big thing. You know, Marvin Lewis, Bob Radkowski, the offensive coordinator, they want to start with the run. I really think that that's been as big an issue as anything.
Penalty marker, Fitzpatrick looking for the tight end, Ben Utek, Quentin Michael on the coverage.
Holding. Defense number 27. This 5-yard penalty will result in an automatic first down.
Quentin Michael playing tight coverage. He's got Ben Utek one-on-one. There he goes across the face. He just gets a little hook and a pull. So it could have been illegal contact, could have been holding, but he's sitting there flat-footed. When Ben Utek is coming up on him on that route, he's got to be ready. He's got to be in a position to be able to change direction.
Eagles have committed the second fewest penalties in the league this season. 2 tight ends, 1st and 10 from the 36. The toss to Benson, who tries to turn the corner, but he cannot. Tackled from behind by Stuart Bradley as we check in for the first time with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
All right, Kenny, Giants and Ravens. Opening drive, Brandon Jacobs takes it in from a yard out. Giants come out of the gate, put up a quick touchdown, and have a quick 7-0 lead. Back to Cincy and Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, Kurt. Giants, of course, defeated the Eagles on Sunday night. Bengals took the Giants to overtime back in September.
And they almost had Dallas. They fell behind, behind early to Dallas, but came back, made that a tight game at the end. That's the potential we talked about at the top. They've got the playmakers on this offense.
2nd down and 12. This is Benson up the gut. Mike Patterson, first Eagle, in on the tackle along with Omar Gaither. So the Bengals now facing a 3rd down and 10.
No, you had only 7 guys in the box in that last play. Cedric Benson needs to go and get a little momentum. It seems like he's chopping his feet a little bit before he's hitting the line of scrimmage. And Moose, you know, if you don't have that momentum when you hit the line of scrimmage and a defensive lineman gets you, you have no power behind you.
Now, you've got to be balanced. You got to be ready to make that break, but you can't stop him. You know, you stop your feet, you're beat. You're not going to be able to explode through the hole.
Movement prior to the snap.
Encroachment, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, remain first down.
That's Darren Howard, 2nd penalty against the Eagles defense on this drive.
Well, here's the big thing that's missing from this offense. I mean, Chad Johnston leads the NFL in explosive plays last year. This year he's got 1. Now, yeah, sure, a lot of that is going to have to do with the fact that Carson Palmer has been out of the lineup. But just 1? I mean, only 1? And with this being Ryan Fitzpatrick's 6th game, they should be in some type of rhythm there.
Pass is dropped by Chris Henry on 3rd down and 5.
It's little things. It's attention to detail. And right now, as this game has started out, we've seen a lack of the attention to detail on both sides. Chris Henry has to make this catch. It's inexcusable. It gives you an opportunity to move the chains to get a new set of downs. It's the little things that we take for granted as fans of this game that aren't executed that really add up during the course of the game.
So the Bengals cannot capitalize on 2 Eagles penalties during that possession. Punt out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
And one of the things that Cincinnati had done at the beginning of the game was kind of control field position with that opening drive, got it down, a penalty loses that. They've given Philadelphia some good starting distance right now.
Good starting field position for the Eagles following the 25-yard punt into the wind by Larson. Eagles from their own 34 did not gain a yard on their opening drive. They went 3 and out. Westbrook crossed the 35. Marvin White made the tackle.
Marvin White filling that hole awful quick. Ryan Westbrook is trying to get downhill, but he's got a safety in the box right away, and he's actually on Philadelphia's side of the line of scrimmage.
You talked about Westbrook earlier. Nicked up, various injuries. Led the league in yards from scrimmage last season. Right now, he's 33rd.
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely not 100%, and it's really impacted him. He's shifted out to the bottom of your screen.
McNabb over the middle on 2nd and 9. That one off the hands of the Cincinnati native. Playing at home for the first time, Brent Selleck.
Well, that's what they need to do with Brian Westbrook, I think, is split him out a little bit, Moose. When he's in the backfield, it seems like they bring a lot of pressure to go and tie him up in the backfield a little bit. But and that banging and banging last week against the Giants, we saw it endlessly. So for him to get healthy, split him out.
Chinadum and Dukwe heading into the locker room, missed training camp with a foot problem. Watch, here he is out here, number 41. Just when he goes to pivot and break, you'll see him pull up right there at the end. So looks like he re-aggravated that foot problem from earlier in the year.
3rd down and 9. Eagles have gained 1 yard on their first 5 offensive plays. McNabb with time, he fires, incomplete, looking for Jason Avant. Chris Crocker, who replaced the injured Ndukwe, on the coverage.
And very good coverage by Chris Crocker. Again, Donovan McNabb has time in the pocket. This Eagles offensive line is very good at pass protection, but he's got nowhere to go with the ball. They're looking for a flag, but that was just good coverage by Chris Crocker.
Siragusa punting from his own 25 with the wind. Good kick. Taken at the 16 by Chapman. And Chapman is thrown to the ground by Sean Considine at the 22. There is a penalty marker. 49-yard punt, 6 on the return.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 49. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Daniel Coates. Bengals back on offense. Chad Johnston, TJ Houshmandzadeh. When we return to Cincinnati. Leon Hall of the Bengals getting taped up on the sidelines. Fitzpatrick has his pass batted down by Broderick Bunkley. We've seen a couple of low throws right into the maze of players by Fitzpatrick today.
Well, that one might have been caused by Trent Cole. It looked like Trent Cole got there right as Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to release it. Number 58 coming on the bottom of your screen. Good push. Looks like he gets in there, impacts that throw, maybe causes that low throw.
You talked about the size of that Cincinnati Bengal offensive line, Moose. There's some big guys, man, but they need to go and get started up if they're going to do that 3-step drop. They got to stone them guys on the line of scrimmage and have pressure all day in his face.
2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line as Fitzpatrick sets up the screen to Benson, but it did not fool Brian Dawkins.
He's such a good football player.
He sniffed that one out real quick,
yeah.
Moose.
Yeah, fool me once. Not going to get that one again on Brian Dawkins. That's virtually the exact same play they ran to start this game and had a 20-plus yard play. And Brian Dawkins isn't going to let that happen again. As soon as that lineman released out to the screen, he was hitting it on the fly.
This time a loss of 3. Kenny Watson in the backfield, 3 wide receivers set. 3rd down and 13. Fitzpatrick over the middle and the catch is made for a first down by TJ Houshmandzadeh at the 29-yard line. A 20-yard pass play. Bengals coming into the game only 9 passes of at least 20 yards.
Well, this is just a great throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's TJ Houshmandzadeh. Look at all the Eagle players around there. Look at how he gets it over that first level. TJ is not very far past the linebacker level. Gets it up high, lets his teammate go up and bring it down.
TJ's asking for the face mask. Looks like he did get face masked on that play right at the end.
From the 29, Fitzpatrick. Again looking for Houshmandzadeh, Sheldon Brown on the coverage.
Well, a big miscue by that Eagles defense, and one of the things that they wanted to be able to work on this week was getting off the field on third downs. And you force a Cincinnati team into a 3rd and 13 situation. You've got your backup quarterback in there. You're a 1-8 team. Nothing's really gone right for you, and you allow that team to convert, get a new set of downs. Surprising to see that Eagles defense let them convert.
Second and 10. UTEC shifting. Fitzpatrick looking right. He throws, and the catch is made again by Houshmandzadeh for a Bengals first down out to the 42, gain of 12.
And they might get 15 more tacked on.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 58, contact to the head of that quarterback. This penalty will be added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
That's Trent Cole. It's the 3rd penalty against the Eagles defense in this first quarter.
And that's something they're good at. Trent Cole down at the bottom, 58. He goes in. Here's your pass to TJ Houshmandzadeh for the first down. Now remember, it's a blow to the head.
Yeah, you can't do that, Moose.
It looked like it was on the side, Goose. You know, I want to take another look at that once we get through this play. I mean, the play is called, so it doesn't really matter, but again, every week you see, you have to pay attention to how the officials are calling the game. This is going to be called tight by Tony Corrente.
Off the play fake, 3rd catch for Houshmandzadeh, and TJ takes it down to the 35.
Goose, get in front of your monitor. Let's take a look at this. It looked to me like maybe he came to the side. He wasn't coming at the crown, right at his head.
The ball is released there, though. He has time. I think it was when the officials saw that he had time to go and peel off, and he didn't, and he kept going and running through the quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick. You got to stop there or avoid him or try to avoid him in some way. He's going to sell that a lot better, and then he had a shot of maybe not getting that penalty.
2nd down and 1. New left tackle for the Bengals. Scott Kustra has replaced Levi Jones. Benson running left, and he picks up a first down.
Sheldon Brown better be careful. He's going to get himself hurt. I mean, he came in. He didn't wrap up at all, Goose. He came in with just his helmet, dropped his helmet down. I don't think he ever got his arms around Cedric Benson.
You see it week after week, guys just going and throwing their shoulders and just. Well, he tried there. Looks like he got stuck a little bit. Got to get a little lower there, Sheldon.
First and 10 from the Eagles 33. 3 wide receivers. Fitzpatrick in trouble. Trent Cole. Down he goes. Back at the 38-yard line. 5th sack of the season for University of Cincinnati product, Trent Cole.
Exactly. He's got an opportunity to play in his old backyard, so you know he's going to have a little bit extra today. And add to that the fact he's going up against Scott Kustra, who's just come in for Levi Jones. And he has been a force already throughout this first quarter. He has been all around Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Levi Jones out. Whitworth moved to left tackle. Kustra at left guard. So the Bengals shuffling the offensive line with Jones on the sideline. Pass is caught by Chris Perry, but he's knocked out of bounds back at the 41-yard line. Loss of 4 yards on the play.
Didn't gain anything. Actually lost yardage, but it's a heck of an athletic play by Chris Perry. One-hand catch, gets hit right as he gets the ball and gets bounced around. There he is in the slot. That's a little bubble screen. Get it out to him quick. There's the one-handed catch. He's got somebody coming up right away. Asante Samuel hits him immediately, bounces off that. He's still working. That's a lot of work to lose 4, Goose.
And they lost 4 on the sack on the previous play. 3rd down and 18. Bengals have to get to the 23. Fitzpatrick sacked back at the 49-yard line by Joselio Hansen. Loss of 8 more yards, 2nd sack of the series for the Eagles.
And again, did this to everybody. Here comes Hoselio Hansen. Look at how far he came from depth. Right as Ryan Patrick starts to move his field of vision to the left side, he's got Hoselio Hansen right in his face on the blitz.
Talk about a delayed blitz. I mean, I don't think you can get any more delayed than that.
So the Bengals penetrated to the Eagles 33, forced all the way back to the 48. Punt takes a Bengals roll out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So Ryan Fitzpatrick sacked twice, first by Trent Cole and then Hoselio Hansen. Cold day here in Cincinnati as the Philadelphia Eagles offense has been cold. They've run 6 plays here in the first quarter, no first downs, only 1 yard for the Eagles on offense.
Well, you were hoping that they were going to be able to come out this afternoon and get into some kind of rhythm to start this game, but they have not at all.
Especially in the passing game, and they have the wind with them too. You know, when they get into the second quarter, they're going to have a rude awakening because that wind's going to be right in their face, as we've seen Fitzpatrick go and have some of those balls float.
The wind is with McNabb. He's 1 for 5. Brian Westbrook out across the 15-yard line. Westbrook gains 4 as we check in with Kurt.
Well, Kenny, I know you watched the pregame show, and there you got to know Greg Jennings. Bears not liking what they see of him on this short touchdown catch from Aaron Rodgers. 7-0 right now, Green Bay on top. Rodgers has started the game 7 of 7, 71 yards, and a score. Kenny?
Thanks, Kurt. So a great start for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Westbrook, Eagles keep it on the ground for the second straight play. And Westbrook with nowhere to go as Brandon Johnston makes the tackle. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
And there's that win that Tony was talking about, and right now it is at Philadelphia's back. If it's going to help any team, it's going to help the direction that the Philadelphia Eagles are going in right now, and they have really wasted an opportunity here in the first quarter. We're coming up to just 1 minute left, and they have done nothing offensively with a little bit of help from behind.
8 plays, 6 yards. You can hear the wind swirling. Eagles have to get to the 21. McNabb in trouble, loses the football. It's picked up by the Bengals and into the end zone for the touchdown, Frosty Rucker.
Oh, give it to him. Come on. No, don't do that to Frosty.
I think he was in, guys.
Oh, he's got it. He did such a good job of getting back up. He does everything you would want to do. The ball's on the ground. Big guy, defensive lineman. Get down, get it, and then get back up because nobody touched you. I think he got back to his feet, and his momentum carried him into the end zone.
A nice little hip roll, hip to hip. Go and snap up and keep going. Dive, throw in your body. I think it was closer than they think.
Rucker ruled down just shy of the goal line. Let's take a look.
Donovan McNabb's got some time here. There's the pressure. He feels it. Good hustle on the play. Never giving up by Robert Gathers. Keeps working. I think he's in, Goose.
Yeah, I think that ball crossed.
Come on, Marvin, throw it. Let him have it. Throw the red flag. Oh, he's tucking it back in.
Marvin Lewis decides to save his first challenge as Cedric Benson is bottled up.
Well, Eagles fans know all too well that this is not a gimme touchdown. I mean, it is hard to punch the ball, and if you've got an opportunity to have a challenge go out there and get you 6 points, throw that flag. Good job there. Scoops the ball. Now he's not touched. He's back on his feet.
I don't know. That knee looked like it was
That
down.
might have
It was
been down.
close, Moose. Really close. Like to see the big guy get it.
"12 seconds remaining first quarter. Sean Considine is the injured Eagle.
Is that Dawkins?
Dawkins as well. Couple of Eagles shaken up on the play as line judge Mike Weir chats with Marvin Lewis.
But it's a nice job right there by Frosty Rucker getting down, making sure he has possession. Now he's back up. Good hustle, John Runyon. Way to get over there. coming all the way from your backside tackle.
You know what, Moose? It looked like his knee was down. He looked like a little bit short, like a foot short.
So 2nd and goal coming up for the Bengals from just outside the 1 as this first quarter comes to an end. A quarter to forget for Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles gain 1 yard in the quarter. Scoreless in Cincinnati. On 2nd and goal, Fitzpatrick bottled up behind the line, taken down by Broderick Bunkley.
Well, we've seen a couple of replays of Frosty Rucker's fumble recovery. It looks like the officials did a nice job with that call. It looked like he was down inside the 1 yard line, and now this Philadelphia Eagle defense has come out. This is not automatic, and I know that Philadelphia has struggled from the offensive standpoint. Everybody thinks you get down here. Goose, these yards get harder to come by once you get inside that 5.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a whole nother game here on the goal line like this. Especially that Eagles defense. They love in that red zone, man. They really rise to the occasion.
3rd and goal. Fitzpatrick to the end zone. Off the hands of Chris Henry.
Well, the Eagles are bringing the house right up the middle. Cincinnati does a good job. This is one-on-one. Asante Samuel, Chris Henry. That's not bad. You are out on that island all by yourself. Asante Samuel, tight coverage, has got a hand on him. Chris Henry's looking for another call. He's not going to get that one.
So the Bengals had 1st and goal on the Eagles 1 following the McNabb fumble, but cannot get it into the end zone. Shane Graham, 20-yard attempt, straight through. But the fans here in Cincinnati not happy. Frosty Rucker, his knee was down following the fumble by McNabb, and the Bengals come away with 3 and not 7. A lot of Eagles fans here in Cincinnati. Bengals have gone out on top 3-0. Following the sack of McNabb, the fumble. Bengals had 1st and goal on the 1, but could not get it across. Quick dents on the return. So the Eagles officially 3 yards of offense in the first quarter will now be going into the wind.
Bush, you talked about they're pretty slow going off here. Slow starts the last 4 games against Atlanta, Seattle, the Giants 0 for 8, and today, tell you what, I don't think they thought it was going to be this slow against the Cincinnati team.
No, you know what, Goose, and I'm going back to that comment you made when we had the St. Louis Rams and the Washington Redskins, that, you know, there's nothing wrong with killing a fly with a sledgehammer. And Philadelphia, the longer they allow this Bengals team to hang around here, don't get caught up in 1 and 8. You know, they've had a lot of adversity this year. They're finally starting to get into a rhythm. You don't want to be in a 4th quarter game against this team.
McNabb complete. Out to the 26-yard line, the tight end L.J. Smith, gain of 4, tackled by the right corner Leon Hall. 2nd completion for McNabb, and that 4-yard gain matches the longest play by the Eagles offense today.
And that's surprising. And Tony talked about at the top, you know, he wants to watch the defense. The defense has done a great job up until this point. I mean, sudden change inside the 1 yard line, hold him to 3 points. This offense has got to get on track in this quarter.
2nd down and 6. McNabb gets rid of it. Terrell Buckhalter, and that is the first Eagles first down. Buckhalter into Bengals territory. Finally down at the 30. 44 yards for Buckhalter.
Eagles do a nice job of catching the Cincinnati Bengals in an all-out blitz. They read it early. That screen is so dangerous. And you're a defensive lineman, you got to turn and run, especially when you're bringing those inside linebackers like they did on this play right here.
And Terrell Buckhalter, Goose, had a great feel for it because he was the one who's responsible for picking up Corey Mays, who was up there in the blitz. He knows he's going to get caught in the wash because he didn't time it right, so he doesn't waste his time being on the inside. Gets right out there for Donovan McNabb to find him.
From the Bengals 30, play action, McNabb to Smith. And L.J. Smith is tackled at the 23-yard line by Chris Crocker. Gain of 7.
Well, they wanted the screen game to be a big element this afternoon, and it was a play called early in that first quarter. We had a few screens called in their first 2 drives, but they did not execute them. So far in this series, they've been able to get much better execution on their screens.
Play clock at 2. Eagles get the snap away. This is Westbrook. And Westbrook out of bounds, loses a yard. Back at the 24. What's going on with the Dolphins and the Raiders? Kurt Menefee.
Here's what's going on. Watch the end around. Ted Ginn Jr. takes it and then slips a tackle, and he's gone. 40 yards later, it's good for 7. And the Dolphins up by a touchdown in the second quarter. Back to Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Miami looking to win their 4th in a row.
I love those gadget plays, Moose, but nobody has been executing them better than Miami this year.
Yeah, they have. You play the Dolphins, you got to be ready for a little bit of everything that afternoon.
They're ahead of be spinning on the defensive side.
McNabb on 3rd and 4. Steps up, he fires, and it's broken up. Pass was intended for L.J. Smith. It's the former Eagle, Dhani Jones, who got a hand on it.
Great coverage, very tight coverage by Dhani Jones. Donovan McNabb wants L.J. Smith the whole time. He breaks across the face of Dhani Jones, but Dhani stays with him and gets that hand in to deflect it.
So now David Akers, look at his numbers over the last 2 seasons from 40-plus, just 5 for 17, a 42-yard attempt, and it is good. So Akers, playing in his 150th game as an Eagle, ties the score at 3.
Now, we talked about the wind, and here's exactly what it looks like down here on the field. These are actually the photos that they take, that they show the players of what they're doing, and they're going back and forth. The wind is swirling, so I know we've been talking about the wind and in your face right now for the Philadelphia Eagles, but it doesn't look like much from TV, but there's a lot of wind down here.
I come over to the sideline and say, hey, I need to take a look at that 3rd down coverage on that last series. Where's it at? It's over on the Bengals sideline. It just went across the field.
I hope it ain't a game plan that goes, because Andy will have to go and run after it, and I don't know if we want to see that.
I hope the coaches are holding on tightly to their play sheets. Due to the wind, Quick Michael holding for David Akers. Glenn Holt on the return. Holt out to the 33-yard line with 4 minutes gone by, second quarter, in a 3-3 game. Next week on the NFL on Fox, doubleheader action. Many of you will see the Cowboys and the 49ers early. And then in game 2, the defending Super Bowl champion Giants travel to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The 4 Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show will begin at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line for Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bengals. Off the play fake to Benson. Fitzpatrick broken up beautifully by Asante Samuel. Pass was intended for Chad Johnston.
Boy, he has been a really, really good addition to this Philadelphia Eagles secondary. And now he's on Chad Johnston on the outside, one-on-one. Very fluid in his movement to change of direction. He's right on Chad Johnston, gets across, knocks that ball down.
Tell you what, Ryan Fitzpatrick needs to go and get that ball out a little sooner on that Chad Johnston's break. Looks like he was sitting there waiting for the ball to get to him.
That's the timing, Goose.
Johnson without a catch today. Husmanzada has 3. 2nd and 10 from the 34. This is Benson. Marvin Lewis has been pleased with what Cedric Benson has brought to the Bengals so far. Marvin spoke with Lovie Smith, Benson's former head coach in Chicago, who felt that it would be a good opportunity for Cedric here in Cincinnati.
Well, some of these guys get a bad rap, and we hear a lot of about the guys who are offered another chance and don't take advantage of that. We had Antonio Bryant a couple weeks ago in Tampa Bay, who's making the best of his second opportunity, or maybe his fourth opportunity in the NFL. Cedric Benson, a similar situation here in Cincinnati. You know, made some mistakes, some poor decisions while he was in Chicago, got let go. He understands how fortunate he is to be a player in the NFL now.
3rd down and 8 as Fitzpatrick throws across the field, and Samuel breaks it up. Houshmandzadeh was the intended receiver.
Well, there's a young quarterback mistake. You might be able to make that throw in Harvard, but you can't make that throw here in the NFL. You cannot scramble to your right and throw back across into the middle of the field, especially when Asante Samuel is in coverage.
Larson punting from the 25 to Deshaun Jackson. Jackson, 5-yard return, out of bounds at the 32. This January, Fox once again brings you the greatest week in college football, beginning with the FedEx Orange Bowl, the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and the FedEx BCS National Championship Game. It's college football's biggest games this January, only on Fox. Here in Cincinnati, Eagles and Bengals tied at 3. Eagles start from their own 32. Flea flicker, Westbrook back to McNabb, going deep for Kevin Curtis. And the pass is broken up by Leon Hall.
Well, that's one of the plays that you talk about if you're not running the ball effectively, that you're not going to get a lot of bite from the defense on this. I mean, it's executed well. I mean, Brian Westbrook sells it all the way up inside. Look at how far he gets up into the line of scrimmage. That is a great sell. But you know what? I'm not really worried about your running game right now. So there's your safeties and your corners down the field. And again, Goose, you're throwing it into that wind. It's going to get knocked up. It's going to float a little bit on you, too.
That's exactly what it did. It floated right in.
2nd and 10. The end around, Deshaun Jackson. Not much. Chris Crocker came up to make the tackle. Crocker filling in for the injured Chinedum and Ndukwe at strong safety.
You know, watching this Bengals defense, they do a really nice job of going, you know, east and west and going and stringing out the line of scrimmage. If you watch right here, they do a nice job of recognizing the linebackers go. They come back, defense line. Everybody's in pursuit, running to the ball. There's nothing there. There's nowhere to cut up, and that's what you have to do to go and corral this Philadelphia's offense's running game.
Eagles with 51 yards of offense, 44 on one play. The screen to Buckhalter with the play clock winding down. The Eagles use their first timeout. Eagles and Bengals tied at 3 here in Cincinnati. Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. 3rd down and 11. For the Eagles, they have to get to the 42-yard line. McNabb with time, he throws and the catch is made for a first down by the rookie Deshaun Jackson out at the 48, a 17-yard pass play.
Oh, that's a big conversion right there, and a good job by Donovan McNabb and Deshaun Jackson, because Cincinnati just rushes forward. They drop everybody else back. Look at him find that spot right there. He's got 4 defenders around him, and he finds the one little soft spot in it.
That Eagles offensive line gave him plenty of time back there to go and throw that ball, I'll tell you. Doing a nice job of stoning those guys. They can't rush through her and expect to get pressure from Cincinnati Bengals.
The slant is caught, and fighting his way down to the 43-yard line is Brent Selleck as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, you know it's getting one-sided now. Darcy Johnson, a tight end out of Central Florida, a free agent in 2006, makes his first NFL catch, and it's a touchdown against the Ravens. It's 20-0 in the second quarter. I don't know if he's the human victory cigar, guys, but it's getting pretty close, getting.
8 rushes, 70 yards. Wow.
I'll tell you what, they look good. They look better and better every week.
Off the play fake, 2nd and 1. McNabb can't find anyone downfield, and then he throws it away.
Well, now we get an opportunity to see if we can work on this short yardage thing. We're going to get a 3rd and short here to see if we can get another set of downs, because this is very good coverage by this Bengals secondary. Even with the extension that Donovan McNabb creates by avoiding the sack, everybody stays with their man, they run. There's the one guy you have to account for. They got a couple guys on Brian Westbrook.
A dozen.
What do you think, Goose? They're going to run it or they're going to throw it? 3rd and 1.
Pass.
McNabb to the outside, incomplete, looking for Reggie Brown. Jonathan Joseph on the coverage.
3rd and 1, double move on the outside. I mean, that's a team right now whose confidence is completely shaken in their ability to convert for 1 yard.
Well, they're 0 for their last 4 when they run it on 3rd down. Here are the season numbers.
I want to see Dan Klecko, the fullback, get the ball, Moose.
You know what? It's not easy, Goose. You know, you're asking him to play a position that he doesn't get a lot of repetition at in a very critical phase of the game.
Fair catch was called for by Chapman at the 20. So the Bengals, as we hit the midway point of this 2nd quarter, will start from their own 20-yard line, tied at 3.
Well, it's been the one glaring problem they've had all season long in Chicago. They can't get it done there. They lose that game 24-20. A couple shots against the Washington Redskins in tight. They can't get it done there. They lose that game 23-17 after jumping out. And then most recently, Sunday night against the Giants, 4th and 1, they can't get it done, and you've got an opportunity, because now that's starting to get into your heads. You know, boy, we just can't convert this when we're running. An opportunity on 3rd and 1, they line your guys up, let them go after it. They elect to go with a double move on the outside and throw the ball.
Fitzpatrick hands it off. Benson. Stewart Bradley made the tackle.
Moose, you know, you talked about that Philadelphia offense line and the size. I think they really struggle in getting to the 2nd level, getting to those linebackers and really going and shutting those guys down. They concentrate so much on those defensive linemen. You know, the 2nd level, the linebacking crew, I'm talking about the strong safeties, the guys that we saw in those clips making the plays on those short yardage downs.
Yeah, well, that was the big one against the Giants, was Chase Blackburn coming from the backside. Now, Chase Blackburn did a great job getting through there to make that stop, but again, Goose, you're exactly right. Nobody got off to clean up that 2nd level.
Bengals just get the snap away. Fitzpatrick to Houshmandzadeh. Bengals 1st down. Out to the 33-yard line. 4th reception for TJ Houshmandzadeh. He gains 13.
And that's when he's at his best. You know, TJ, I think, sometimes gets a little bit frustrated about not being involved in maybe more of the vertical part of this game. But he makes his living. His bread and butter is working underneath on the short routes, the catch and run. We've seen it several times this afternoon already, with him catching a ball short and then being able to extend it for a 1st down.
Coming into the weekend, Houshmandzadeh, 3rd leading receiver in the NFL. 3 wide receivers on 1st down. The inside handoff to Benson. Benson is across the 35 to the 36-yard line, gain of 3 before he was tackled by Broderick Bunkley. So 2nd and 7 upcoming. Bengals with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. His 6th start. Started 3 games for the Rams back in 2005. Grew up in Arizona, attended Harvard, 2004 Ivy League Player of the Year for the Crimson. Won his 1st game as an NFL starter 2 weeks ago against Jacksonville. Fitzpatrick to the outside on 2nd and 7. And it's Houshmandzadeh again. His 5th catch. A Bengals 1st down, a gain of 11.
And You don't have to throw the ball all the way down the field for a big play. They're fortunate to have somebody like Chad Johnston on the outside that becomes your deep vertical threat. Chris Henry has that element to his game. You get so worried and so caught up with that you're able to let T.J. Houshmandzadeh, there's a coverage mix-up right there. The Philadelphia Eagles, Jose Leo Hansen, Lito Shepherd kind of get turned around a little bit. They're both on Chad Johnston, and T.J. slips out in the flat.
Benson gains 2 out to the 49-yard line. With 4.5 minutes remaining. Second quarter, Houshmandzadeh went to his first Pro Bowl last February, scored 2 touchdowns in the game. He has 5 catches for 65 yards today.
He's just a competitor out there. He loves the game. He loves having fun. He loves to study the game. He wants to do more and more and more. I mean, he's on. Marvin talked to me about it. You know, TJ gets on him. I want to do more, Coach. I want to do more. But, you know, watching this game today, he's doing the most that I see out there on their offense right now. And Moosey pointed it out. Those short passes, when he gets the ball in his hands, that's when he's most effective.
Off the play fake, Trent Cole with his 2nd sack today.
Nothing like being in the old stomping grounds. Trent Cole from the University of Cincinnati, and it's tough. You've got Andrew Whitworth out at the tackle position. Levi Jones is down, and he slid out there, and that's a tough duty for a guard who's used to being inside with a couple of guys, you know, on each side of him. Now you're out there on that island. It is tough, and you're going against one of the better edge speed rushers in the NFL.
It's a whole nother world. Just like defensive ends don't want to come inside on the defense. I'll tell you what, those offensive guys, the further they go out, the more on an island, like you pointed out, Moose, they are.
Chapman on 3rd and 16 into Eagles territory, losing the football. Ball was knocked loose by Darren Howard, and Chapman is shaken up.
He got hit hard, and this is one of those fumbles where, you know, no coach likes a fumble, but when they sit down and watch this film, they're going to understand why this one came loose. Antonio Chapman, the quick screen as he goes to go back inside. Quentin Michael just stands him up. Boom, right there. And then here comes Stuart Bradley from the inside. That's just a physical tackle. Sometimes that ball, he's even trying to get it covered up. That's just a big-time hit by Quentin Michael.
Michael forced it, recovered by Howard. First Bengals turnover today.
Antonio Chapman still down on the field right now.
Chapman, 3rd season in Cincinnati. Spent 3 years in Green Bay. Also played in the Arena League. So the Bengals medical staff tending to Antonio Chapman with 3:11 remaining, 2nd quarter.
Now, I've gotten hit like that before when I was playing. You get hit so hard, and they're bringing out the cart to take Antonio Chapman back in. And, you know, I know we call him burners. He's moving his legs, so hopefully this is just strictly precautionary. But you get hit there, you get that burner, and your arms just drop. I mean, you have no more control over holding onto that ball, and then he's just getting bent over and twisted up in that pile. So not exactly sure what happened to Antonio right now, but, you know, seeing that hit on that fumble, I can completely understand, because I've been in that situation before where you get hit so hard and you know, you get that stinger and those arms drop, the ball comes out. There's nothing you can do.
So with the Eagles and the Bengals tied at 3, we'll check in on the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions with Kurt Menefee.
All right, guys, this game started out all Lions. They led 10-0 at one point, but D'Angelo Williams and the Panthers have taken over from there. 56-yard touchdown run, and right now it's Carolina on top, 14-13, getting towards a 2-minute warning. Let's get it back out to Cincinnati and Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Panthers 7-2. They've started the season 8-2 just once back in 2003.
You know,
went to the Super Bowl.
Moose, Rod Marinelli's going crazy over that long run. That's one thing he really harps on up there in Detroit is, you know, being a defensive line coach from Tampa, is stop those big run plays. And right there, D'Angelo Williams just taking it down the field on him. He's not happy right now.
No, very rarely do we get to hear the phrase, it was all Detroit at one point in that game right now. And going on in the field right now, Antonio Chapman is down after that hit, and it's one of those serious situations when you're watching an NFL football game. But what is this? This is a protocol that was put into place, and a lot of this has come from the situation that happened with Kevin Everett up with the Buffalo Bills, and a lot of people with the type of injury, a catastrophic injury that Kevin had, and yet we got an opportunity last season on December 23rd when we did the Bills-Giants to have Kevin Everett walk back into Ralph Wilson Stadium. What everybody was impressed with was how quickly he went from being on the field to being in the operating room, and that really, all the doctors involved said that's why Kevin has the ability to walk today. So they've put a protocol in place to all the NFL stadiums that in any situation where we have an injury that could be that type of injury to one of the players on the field, there's a protocol put in place. They're following that protocol right now, and it's a chain of command as you move from the player leaving the field into the ambulance being transported to the stadium and then into the hospital for evaluation and if it has to be done, the surgery. So unfortunately, one of those situations we hate to see on the field, but the NFL has done a tremendous job in putting in place a protocol, and it paid dividends earlier this year in a preseason game with Dallas and the Houston Texans, where a player had another severe spinal cord injury, but will be able to walk again because of the protocol that was put in place.
Goose, we saw Quentin Michael, the man who made the hit on Chapman. What goes through a defensive player's mind in a situation like this when he was the one involved in the play and the injury?
Well, defensive lineman, you just got to go out there and play. You can't really go and say, I'm going to go and tackle him a certain way, or I'm going to go and hit somebody a certain way. It's you really just got to go out there and play. And I know there's a camera on me somewhere. I'll find it.
Turn back to your left just a little bit.
This way?
Yeah, right
this
there.
Way? All right, I'm going to stay right here. But you just got to go out there and play. You can't worry about, I tackled them the wrong way or the right way. They're out there. They're not. It wasn't a dirty hit. They're not playing dirty. It was just a misfortune that it happened to hit him a certain way where he's going to go and stay down. Obviously, right now they're putting him on the stretcher. They're bringing him in to check out, and hopefully, like you mentioned, Moose, the protocol is all in place, and we just wish him the best.
And Daryl, you're right. What a moment it was when we saw Kevin Everett walking into the Bills locker room last December for the first time following the incident week 1 of last season against the Houston Texans, the collision with Dominic Hickson, who's now a member of the New York Giants.
Now remember, we did see Antonio moving his legs while he was down, and this is, again, it's all part of the precautionary move to be completely isolated and to prevent any type of movement whatsoever until they know exactly what the extent of the injury is.
Antonio Chapman receiving a nice hand from the crowd here in Cincinnati as we check in once again with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
And we'll check in on the Chiefs and Saints. This is Deuce McAllister with a rushing touchdown for New Orleans, but they find themselves in a battle right now. Kansas City playing well, all even at 10. Back to Kenny Moose and Deuce.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Back to football. The Eagles start from their own 43-yard line as McNabb's pass hits Jamar Fletcher in the back. And McNabb also took a hit from Robert Gathers.
Oh, did he ever? He had Robert Gathers coming right into his face. So every once in a while, somebody will get turned loose. It's usually not a defensive lineman.
Yeah, you don't want them big guys on your quarterback, and usually let the little ones go through. But on that play, he just came scot-free.
Yeah, that had to be a breakdown in the protection because you don't expect to see a 90 number getting turned loose on the outside.
Gathers with the sack. Forced fumble of McNabb earlier. 2nd and 10. McNabb with time. Throws to the outside. And Deshaun Jackson says that he made the catch, and the officials concur. An Eagles first down at the Bengals 45.
Well, we've talked about them not getting off to a good start as it happened in this game, but now, trying to get back into that flow. They'd had a little bit of rhythm earlier in this quarter, and now you had the injury to Antonio Chapman, and it takes a while for everybody to get back moving again.
Absolutely.
McNabb over the top. on first down, complete to Brian Westbrook. Nahani Jones tackles his former teammate after a gain of 5, and for Brian Westbrook, his first reception of the game.
Well, that's a great job defensively by the Cincinnati Bengals, because when you play the Eagles, he is the one player that you have to worry about it, and they're going to get him the ball, and it's not just handing it off. They're going to break him out of formations and try and create matchups, as we see right here. You know, he's heading out. You got Deshaun Jackson in the backfield with Donovan and Brian Westbrook heading out.
So the Eagles on the move, 2nd and 4 from the Bengals 40 as we hit the 2-minute warning in Cincinnati. Coming up, the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy with scores and highlights, and the Fox Sports Ticker will have the up-to-date stats. Donovan McNabb keeping warm during the 2-minute warning.
That guy grew up in Chicago. He went to school at Syracuse. That happens when you get a little bit older, you don't stay as warm.
But I think he has a house in the South Pacific or something, where it's nice and warm. So,
but he did play his games in a dome in college.
Well, half of them, but you know, the other half are outside.
Is that the problem with Syracuse now? That they play in the dome?
We don't have enough time to go into the problems at Syracuse.
Daryl attending the first half down at Rutgers last Saturday.
They were in it for about 4 minutes.
They're down in 5. As the Syracuse lock takes the snap, throws, and it's caught for a first down by Jason Avant. Avant finally tackled at the 22-yard line after gaining 18.
You bring a little bit of pressure, and you got everybody playing tight man-to-man coverage. You get these little crossing routes. Jason Avant is able to shake loose from Jamar Fletcher.
From the Bengals 22. McNabb intercepted by Brandon Johnston. And it's McNabb who forces Johnston out of bounds at the 49-yard line of the Eagles. For the third-year linebacker out of Louisville, it's his first career interception, and he returns it 35 yards.
That's a pretty nice interception for your first one, too. He does it perfect. He drops back. He reads Donovan McNabb's eyes. He's trying to get it over the top to L.J. Smith. And he just jumps up and stabs it. I mean, it's a cold day out there today. That's a nice pick by Brandon Johnston.
Yeah, but you can't let a quarterback knock you out of bounds like that, though, Moose.
Yeah, but I love that part of the play. I mean, bad decision. Donovan McNabb would love to have it back. But he's hustling. That's his mistake, and he makes sure it's not a critical mistake that goes back for 6 points.
Donovan sort of looked like a linebacker on that play. He's big enough.
Bengals with all 3 of their timeouts. First catch today for Chad Johnston at the 42-yard line, gain of 7. So a missed opportunity for the Eagles. They had a first down on the Bengals 22, and McNabb turns it over for the second time. Second down and 3. Fitzpatrick to the outside, and Johnson made the catch at the 38-yard line for a Bengals first down.
Well, you heard the crowd get a little upset on that last play, but they had to get their protection set. Ben Utek, who's out in the slot, number 81, he looked into Ryan Fitzpatrick. There was something going on because there was a miscommunication. He had to come back in, reset that, make sure your protection is sound.
44 seconds remaining in the half. From the Eagles 38. Johnson again, his third catch of this drive. Dawkins makes the tackle, another Bengals first down. Cincinnati calls timeout after Johnson gains 12.
Another good job by Ryan Fitzpatrick getting his protection set. He brings Chris Perry back inside. He's able to pick up the inside blitzer. They turn the farthest guy from the quarterback free, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is able to get it to Chad Johnson on the slant.
3 receptions, 23 yards on this drive for Chad Johnson. There's Brandon Johnson, whose interception has given the Bengals this opportunity. Chris Perry in the backfield, 3 receivers, 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 26. Fitzpatrick, pump fake, now he fires, and the catch is made for a touchdown by TJ Houshmandzadeh.
I have been really impressed with Ryan Fitzpatrick's poise in the pocket. The Eagles are bringing a lot of pressure on this one, and already twice on this drive, he's reset his protection to make sure he's got everything covered, has adjusted to the hot swell. This time, in a very big blitz situation, he's got everything covered. He actually has time to hold the ball and let that deep route develop, and throws a beautiful pass to TJ Houshmandzadeh for the touch.
26-yard touchdown reception. That equals the longest completion by a Bengals quarterback to a wide receiver this season.
Look at everybody up front now as the Eagles come in. They're going to pressure the A-gaps right by your center. Guard and center gaps on both sides with Stuart Bradley and Brian Dawkins up in there. Watch the coordination of this protection. Everybody gets a hat on a hat. You've got a stunt inside. Look at the time that Ryan Patrick has to hold that ball and get that throw. That is excellent coordination between running back, tight end, offensive line to allow that shot. There's your double move on the outside. Ryan Fitzpatrick looks out that way, knows that Asante Samuel has the good coverage. He comes right back to the left side to TJ Houshmandzadeh. That is excellent. That is so well done by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Moose, you're absolutely right. The offensive line, Fitzpatrick has a lot of confidence because at not one point did I see him looking at the offensive line knowing that the blitz is coming. He knew that those guys would handle it up front. He sat in the pocket. His eyes were downfield the whole time, and that's how we saw TJ Houshmandzadeh open and got the ball to him.
4th touchdown reception of the season for Houshmandzadeh. And now a mistake by Graham. Kickoff out of bounds. Eagles will start at the 40.
The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. 1st down.
That is a big miscue right there because, you know, if you're getting some help from the wind, it's from the direction. Shane Graham has the wind at his back from that side. That is no time off the clock, and the Eagles 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. Well, it looks like the Eagles, after playing a very poor first half of football, are going to have an opportunity to go in with the lead at halftime, at least, you know, maybe just by a field goal. And now they throw the interception. The Bengals come down, are able to steal that. Ken Donovan McNabb gets some momentum going back in at halftime for this Eagle team.
Screen to Westbrook. Gains just 1. And with 26 seconds remaining, Eagles use their 2nd timeout. 2 turnovers for McNabb in this first half, and the miscues have led to all 10 Bengals points.
Yeah, well, the first time the defense comes out and bails him out, I mean, a turnover inside your 1-yard line, and they hold the Bengals to a field goal, and then a very good interception by Brandon Johnston. But that was all Ryan Fitzpatrick. That was as well done in a 2-minute situation. And it's funny, you sit here and you listen to the crowd get anxious and get upset when they're at the line of scrimmage. But the quarterbacks, they have such composure in that situation. They know that there's plenty of time. And he was very efficient during that drive, and just a great job on that touchdown play to TJ Houshmandzadeh.
Eagles 36 points against the Giants Sunday. They averaged 28. They've scored only 3 so far today. Wide open to Sean Jackson. Makes the catch out of bounds at the Bengals 34, a 25-yard pass play.
By far, Donovan McNabb's best throw of the half. Watch the coverage on Deshaun Jackson. They've got him underneath and over the top, and he drops it right in between Jonathan Joseph and Chris Crocker. That is a great throw by Donovan McNabb.
20 seconds remaining. Eagles have scored at least 10 points in the first half in every game this season. They trail today 10-3. 1 timeout remaining. from the 34. McNabb fires, intercepted it, deflected off Curtis, and is picked off by Jonathan Joseph, tackled by Deshaun Jackson. Third Eagles turnover of the first half. The Bengals had only 5 interceptions coming into this game. They have 2 here in the second quarter.
We'll take a look at this and see what happens. Kevin Curtis releases. This ball kind of gets on him quick. I don't know if he's ready for it. He's just turning right there. It gets on the back shoulder. So I don't know if Kevin didn't carry the route downfield far enough, or he just wasn't primary in that progression and was not ready at all for that throw from Donovan McNabb.
Fitzpatrick takes a knee. Bengals will take a 10-3 lead into the locker room at halftime.
I tell you, that is really, really surprising. Now, this Cincinnati Bengals team is 1-8. They've had a lot of adversity. Yeah, there is some potential, but this Eagle team, after that loss to the Giants on Sunday night, wanting to come back and rebound, it has just come out and played flat offensively. Not able to get into any type of rhythm. The same things we talk about at the beginning of the broadcast about this offense. They couldn't get into a rhythm, and now add to that, they're turning the ball over today. Robert gathers with the sack. Frosty Rucker picks it up, almost gets a touchdown. Brandon Johnston on the first 2-minute situation brings it back. Cincinnati scores, and then when it looks like maybe Philadelphia is going to be able to get at least a field goal, maybe even a touchdown to go in tied at halftime, the Cincinnati Bengals get another interception.
So McNabb, 3 first-half turnovers. Eagles trail the Bengals at the half, 10-3. We'll return to Cincinnati after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back in Cincinnati, we get ready for the second half. Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Bengals lead the Eagles 10-3. Cincinnati scoring all 10 of their points off turnovers. From the 5, Quentin Dempsey lost the football, scoops it back up, and is down at the 12. So the problems continue for the Eagles on the second half kickoff. Philadelphia, Daryl, only 5 rushing yards. The guys talked about it at halftime. 5 rushing yards in the first half.
And just to give Jimmy Johnson an update on the health of Brian Westbrook, no, he's not close to being 100%. Now, most people aren't when you're talking about this stage of the season, but he's carrying a lot of those injuries that have kind of slowed him down during the course of the season. That's why it is on Donovan McNabb's shoulder. He has come out. He's turned the ball over twice. The last interception I'm going to put on Kevin Curtis didn't look like he was ready. You saw the frustration from Donovan after the throw.
2 turnovers in the second quarter. McNabb also fumbled in the first quarter as the pass is caught by Curtis, and he's tackled by Leon Hall after a gain of 4.
The big question I have is what does this offense want to be? Because of this offense, the first time we had one in the first half, they elected to throw a double move on the outside. Let's see what they do here.
3rd down and 1. 2 tight ends. Opening possession, second half. McNabb looking to throw. The pass deflected at the line. Bengals start from the Eagles' 42 following the 15-yard punt return by Houshmandzadeh, his first punt return since 2004. And now Fitzpatrick to the tight end Reggie Kelly, gain of 3 down to the 39. Goose, you chatted with Marvin Lewis during halftime?
Yeah, I had him going in, and he told me 2 things they need to do. Defensively, they need to go and put some more pressure. They're not getting pressure with just 4 men up on the line of scrimmage. And offensively, he has to establish the run. He feels that late in the game, if they have to at some point go and run the clock down, if they're ahead, that they need to go and establish the run so they'll be able to do that.
Thanks, Goose. 2nd and 7. Cedric Benson. First down and more. All the way down to the Eagles' 25. Benson gains 14.
We've talked about the aggressive style of defense that Cincinnati plays. Philadelphia is also that way. Watch everybody pursue. Juquay Parker gets way upfield, opens up that backdoor cut. He's respecting the bootleg, but there's nobody else in there.
Ryan, you're right, Moose. Ryan Fitzpatrick does a great job with the bootleg and sold it very well. He fooled a lot of those guys, and that opened the hole for Cedric Benson.
There's Benson. This time Benson gains just 2.
Stuart Bradley told us that one of the problems they've had with their run defense is setting the edge, and that was an example right there because Juquay Parker has to honor that bootleg just in case Ryan Fitzpatrick does have the ball. But there was nobody else there. The secondary support wasn't there to squeeze that back inside, and all of a sudden Cedric Benson is into the secondary with nobody to challenge it.
Second down and 8. Benson bottled up. Chris Goldkong celebrating his 25th birthday today. First Eagle in on the tackle, so the Bengals now facing a 3rd down and 9.
Well, you know what, Goose? Ryan Fitzpatrick hasn't had a lot of opportunity in his NFL career to be the starting guy, but you know, as a backup quarterback, he's going to know exactly what to do. I don't know if you're going to be able to show him something that he has seen on film that's going to fool him. He just seems like one of those guys that has a great understanding of the game.
Harvard, Moose. They teach a lot of stuff there.
Think you can handle it, Goose?
No, I'll stick with defensive line. That's about as, you got to know where your limitations.
How about Harvard? You can handle Harvard. Pass intended for UTEP.
No.
By the way, Fitzpatrick's alma mater, 24-21 over Penn yesterday.
A big battle. They're going to call this a completion and a fumble. A real heads-up play. Ben Utek makes the catch. There's the hit and the fumble. Jose Leo Hansen diving to try and knock that ball back in bounds.
I think UTEP had possession for long enough.
Yeah, it's not that. Remember, we kind of took that, makes a play comment to the game of football. That nonsense has been removed.
Football
and now
move.
it's just, you just catch the ball, and if both your feet are down, it's a fumble. I think Andy's wondering, did they knock that ball back in bounds? I put that one back in my pocket. He didn't have a good challenge day last Sunday night.
Not enough for a first down, and Graham hits from 41. You're right, Andy Reid 0 for 2 on challenges on successive plays last week. It's a moot point now. Bengals lead by 10. Ball hit out of bounds. Goose, I thought you told us it was cold.
I'll tell you what, you never catch me like that. I don't know at what point you decide to do that.
Only in our meeting room on Saturday night. Demps out to the 38.
I tell you, once you get to cold weather, these guys come out of the woodwork, Goose.
I tell you, anything to get on television, anything.
To be young and foolish.
Not sure the Eagles would have expected to be in this position early in the second half against a 1-8 Bengals team.
No, not at all. Not at all. They have taken care of their business against teams having a season like Cincinnati's having this year.
First and 10 from the 39. McNabb steps away from pressure. Now he throws, and Hank Baskett has a first down and more. Baskett down the sideline inside the 10, the 5 out of bounds at the 3-yard line of the Bengals.
This is the thing about Philadelphia. I can see why sometimes you get enamored with throwing the football because of the big play potential they have. They've got Donovan McNabb. They've got him dead to rights right there. He slides, extends the play, finds an opening to Hank Baskett. Now watch this acceleration right here. Boy, he just gives a big old stiff arm to Marvin White, and then he is out of there.
That's what happens when you don't tackle the legs and you stay up high on the guy. Stiff arm, and then he's down the sideline for a beautiful, beautiful run.
57 yards, Goose. First and goal from the 4. McNabb fakes the toss. Looking end zone, he throws. Touchdown, L.J. Smith.
They have such big play, quick strike capabilities in this offense. We saw with a little screen pass to Correll Buckhalter in the first half. This time it's a kind of a broken play, ad-lib by Donovan McNabb to Hank Baskett, and the next thing you know, you're down knocking on the door. Nice little bootleg outside. L.J. Smith finds the soft spot.
His third touchdown reception of the season. David Akers adds the extra point. So the big play, McNabb to Baskett, 57 yards. Eagles are within 3. Top left, Hank Baskett, 57-yard reception, setting up the 4-yard touchdown pass from Donovan McNabb to L.J. Smith. Eagles with one big play in each half. 44 yards to Buckhalter, 57 yards to Baskett. Those two plays account for approximately half of the yards gained by the Eagles on offense today.
And not a whole lot in between.
If you look at this play, all the way to the outside on your left side of your screen, Jamar Fletcher is on the outside. Now you have the play action, head roll this. Play action, good job. Now when he rolls out, Jamar Fletcher frees it right there. He needs to make a decision. He's got to go after the quarterback. Right now, he's in no man's land. There's no reason for him to be there. There's no one on the backside. Everything is covered. He's got to go and put pressure on the quarterback to go and make a quicker throw. When you give him time back there, he's going to find the guys just like L.J. Smith right there and get it to him. That's what happened on that play.
So now the Bengals go back to work with a 3-point lead. 1st and 10 from the 20. Cedric Benson. Benson tackled by Stuart Bradley after a gain of 2.
Yeah, that's one of the ones. Pull the wristband up, check the face mask, make sure everything's okay. Stuart Bradley put a hit on Cedric Benson. He's had a nice season. I mean, they were excited about this linebacker group coming in at the beginning of the season. Omar Gaither, Stuart Bradley, Chris Gokong, they have played well. Got 9 tackles today.
Got 16 against the Giants on Sunday night. 2nd down and 8. Fitzpatrick complete out at the 28-yard line to Houshmandzadeh as we head west and Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
And we take it back. I don't know, I guess we go back east to the central time zone. Anyway, it's Houston and Indy. Joseph Adai's second touchdown of the quarter. It's 23-20. Indy with lead, and I guess technically Indy is kind of from the eastern time zone, aren't they? But they're in the Midwest, so I get confused. Kenny?
They don't change, Kurt. Yeah. They don't change, Kurt. They're one of those places that doesn't change.
Goose, a former resident of Indy.
Yeah. Goose gave us that information last night, so we had insider info, Kurt.
3rd down and 1, the toss. Here's Benson. And Benson is wrapped up by Quentin Michael.
Well, Moose, you tell me this all the time. You can't run east and west. You got to get north and up the field, and that's not what Cedric Benson does on this play. He runs directly flat. There he has the ball. He's got to go and get up into it. Don't give the guys the angle. He gives 2 guys right there the angle to go and make the play.
They've been trying to figure out what it is Cedric Benson does best, too, to incorporate into the offense. And I don't know if that's his forte, the little quick pitch to getting him out on the perimeter.
No, he's a big guy. He needs a power run. He needs to get up in there and stick it in there.
Deshaun Jackson on the return, 44-yard punt. Rashad Jeanty, the tackle on special teams. Bengals leading by 3. Cincinnati 26 yards on the ground. Eagles only 10.
You know it's not a real good day when you're going for 1.7 and you're leading on yards per carry.
No. Westbrook split to the right from the 33-yard line. McNabb incomplete. L.J. Smith covered by Brandon Johnston. Daryl, you talked about the Eagles struggling today against a 1-8 team. Philadelphia's wins have come against St. Louis, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Seattle. And then close losses to Dallas, Chicago, Washington, and the New York Giants. 2nd and 10. Westbrook out to the 34-yard line.
Well, the concern for Eagle fans has to be that they're not consistent throughout the game. And early in the first half, you mentioned the two big plays, Kenny. Corral Buckhalter for 44 yards on a little screen pass. And then here in this half, the ad-lib by Donovan McNabb turns into a 57-yard play to Hank Basket. But when you pull those two plays out and take all the other plays, it's only 3.3 per play. Now, I know that, during the course of the game, that those numbers are going to look pretty decent, but it goes to the point, what does Philadelphia hang their hat on? They're getting more reliant on that big splash play again offensively.
Eagles have to get to the 43, and Brent Selleck crosses the 43-yard line out to the 45, and he picks up a first down, a gain of 11.
The Cincinnati Bengals are still rushing 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. Donovan McNabb has all day back there to go and throw the ball. Talked to Marvin Lewis going in. He said he was going to put pressure. I'm not seeing that right now. The offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles are giving Donovan McNabb all day in the backfield.
Brent Selleck, the catch, attended Bengals games. His family owns season tickets. They also own 3 hair salons here in Cincinnati. From the 45, Westbrook across midfield, a gain of 6 before he was tackled by Rashad Jeanty.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there. Brian Westbrook, really his first opportunity to turn in a big play in the running game. Got through that initial kind of surge of the defense by the Cincinnati Bengals and felt he should have been able to break that second tackle and get into the secondary.
Only 24 total yards for Westbrook.
That's a nice job by the Bengals defense.
Second down and 4. Off the play fake. McNabb rolling to his right. Now he throws, and the catch is made for a first down by Kevin Curtis. Down to the Bengals 41. Gain of 8.
They challenge you so many different ways with Brian Westbrook that you have to honor it. Little counter action to the outside, secures that edge rusher. Now Donovan can get out front side on the bootleg, have all the time he needs to find the receiver down the field.
Under 5 minutes remaining, third quarter. Eagles have never led in the game. From the 41, McNabb over the middle. Caught at the 37-yard line by Westbrook, and he was tackled immediately after a gain of 5 by Dhani Jones.
Once again, if you look right here, they only have 4 down linemen. 1, 2, 3, 4 that are rushing. The offensive line does a great job, opens a nice hole there for Donovan. They need to go and bring at least a 5th guy to go and challenge this offensive line. They're not getting it done. It's a waste right now to only rush 4 guys.
Mike Zimmer talked to us about bringing some pressure up into the middle. Maybe he just planned on doing that on 3rd down. Might have to change his approach.
On 2nd and 5. Pass bounces away from Hank Basket.
Well, just one of those little silly plays right there. You're going down to make a catch, and that ball pops up in the air. And probably Philadelphia's best drive so far this afternoon when you talk about consistency and being able to function at different levels, different personnel groups. Very fortunate that ball wasn't picked off and start heading the other way.
It is their longest drive as far as plays are concerned. This will be the 8th play of the drive. They started on their own 33.
Here comes your pressure, Goose.
McNabb on 3rd and 5, intercepted. It was intended for L.J. Smith, and it's brought back by Chris Crocker. The 3rd interception thrown by McNabb today. And Donovan thinks the ball is still in play, but Crocker was ruled down right around the 44-yard line.
Well, I don't know what Donovan McNabb sees on this one. I mean, Chris Crocker's coming inside out on him, has him all the way.
Donovan McNabb ties his career high with 3 interceptions in 1 game. Low snap, and Fitzpatrick taken to the ground by Jaquay Parker.
Well, Tony, they finally listened to you. They came up. They didn't bring a whole bunch of pressure, but they sure showed a lot. We're going to have 8 guys across the front here. But what's going to happen is everybody's going to pull out. You got to keep your eye on number 42, Chris Crocker. Donovan McNabb lost track of him. He thinks he's coming on the blitz, and he dropped out, got right in the throwing lane. That's not something you expect to see from somebody who's been in the league as long as Donovan McNabb.
An uncharacteristic day, guys. Excuse me, Goose. McNabb, number 1 all-time as far as interception percentage. Interception per attempts in his career, lowest percentage of all time. Yet he's thrown 3 here today. Fitzpatrick gets rid of it. And it's taken into Eagles territory by Reggie Kelly.
But there was nobody around Reggie Kelly after he made that catch. Ryan Fitzpatrick buys a little bit of time, is able to find Reggie Kelly, and there's nobody around him once he gets the ball. Reggie Kelly's kind of hanging in there as your tight end, a late release. There he is, 82 coming across. There's nobody there. Nice little design. Let that tight end hang in there, help out. Whoever has him in coverage sees him engaged, kind of takes their vision off. You sneak out late, you can come clean just like that.
15 yards for Kelly. Fitzpatrick on 3rd and 2. The catch is made by Houshmandzadeh for a first down and more. TJ Houshmandzadeh with his 8th catch today. Gain of 22 yards.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is really throwing the ball well. I mean, this is another tight area to get this in. Rogelio Hansen not in bad coverage. Then you've got Omar Gaithar kind of tied up with Ben Utex, so he's right in the area. Look at the zip. Look at the velocity on that throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, he really threaded the needle on that one. He had Gaither right there. I mean, it was a beautiful throw and catch by those 2 guys.
Fitzpatrick has completed his last 12 pass attempts. Down to the 26-yard line, Benson. Now for TJ Houshmandzadeh, his second 100-yard game this season, as Whitworth is shaken up. Bengals already lost their left tackle, Levi Jones, earlier. Jones is back in, and Whitworth will now hobble to the sidelines.
At the end of the run, it looks like Cedric Benson gets kind of rolled up on the back of Andrew Whitworth. Like, at least his legs came, you saw his legs kick up. Now he's immediately he's reaching for his ankle. But the best thing about that situation is his feet got out from underneath him. They didn't get trapped and rolled up into the pile under Juquay Parker. You see how it kind of kicks up right there. That's good news. I know he's reaching for that ankle, and it looks like one of those situations where it could be a high ankle sprain, but at least those feet came out of the turf.
So Scott Kustra, who we saw earlier, is back in at left guard, number 75. 2nd down and 9. Fitzpatrick with time. He fires incomplete. His first incompletion, his last 13 attempts. The intended receiver was Ben Utex. So a 3rd down and 9 from the Eagles' 26. Bengals looking to capitalize on yet another Eagles turnover. Cincinnati has scored 10 of their 13 points off turnovers today. Kenny Watson, the lone back, 3rd down and 9. Bengals have to get to the 17. And Fitzpatrick is taken down for the 5th time today. Sheldon Brown with his first sack of the season.
Well, this is not bad. They bring everybody up. Philadelphia's got everybody up in the A-gaps, right between guard center. Chris Perry gets in, steps up inside, but Sheldon Brown, some of these guys you just can't account for. Philadelphia brought more blitzers than the Cincinnati Bengals were able to block, so that ball had to come out a lot quicker. I wonder if somebody missed an adjustment.
Well, Jim Johnston knows that you have an injury on the offensive line. Guys are getting shuffled around. He's going to go and bring something, some kind of pressure to go and make it as difficult as possible for those guys to be on the same page.
Instead of attempting a 51-yard field goal, Bengals going for it on 4th down. And Fitzpatrick is tackled at the 27-yard line by Chris Clemens.
Yeah, you just got to get outside on that one, buy a little bit of time. You've got to make a throw down the field. Very difficult to be able to run for that one with that down and distance out there. So, you know, once Ryan Fitzpatrick gets out now, just throw it. If they intercept it down inside the 5-yard line, it's as good as a well-executed punt.
I think that's what Marvin's saying. Throw it, throw it.
There's an example of whenever you hear that term game manager, that situation, understanding when you go up to the line of scrimmage, it's 4th down, it's 4th and long, 4th and 16. If I break out, just get the ball down the field. Know that it's going to be very difficult for you to run for it, and an interception deep inside the 5-yard line works just as well. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Man.
Another one.
Jonathan Joseph breaks up the pass intended for Reggie Brown.
Boy, is he lucky. He just got away with that one.
Donovan McNabb looks like he's forcing the ball in. There's double coverage here on the outside. Man.
I mean, Jonathan Joseph does everything but make the pick. I mean, he jumped that thing perfect.
You saw Andrew Whitworth on the cart. 5 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles on 2nd and 10. Inside handoff to Westbrook. And Brian Westbrook has a 1st down and more. Up to midfield. And that takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter as Westbrook gains 22. His best run of the day. Bengals lead by 3. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages. The 1-8 Cincinnati Bengals with a 3-point lead as we start the 4th quarter. Terrell Buckhalter in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the Bengals 49 as Buckhalter gains 3 down to the 46.
Well, one of the things we touched on at the top, Goose, you don't want to allow the Cincinnati Bengals to be in this game in the 4th quarter. They go into the 4th quarter with a 3-point lead. And a team that has struggled through so much this season and having gone into their bye with a victory over Jacksonville, it's a terrible situation for the Eagles to be in.
You're giving them confidence they shouldn't have, and the turnovers just killing the Eagles.
Eagles have turned the ball over 4 times today. From the 46, McNabb going deep for Deshaun Jackson. It is broken up. Terrific play by the right corner. The 2nd-year man out of Michigan, Leon Hall.
I think that this may have been part of the game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles, was to try and go after Leon Hall. He plays this about as well as you can. As soon as he sees Deshaun Jackson turn, his head turns, he's able to pick up the flight of the ball and get his hands up.
That's the difference between a young receiver and a veteran receiver, Moose. The veteran receiver never lets you know when that ball is close, never lets the guy who's covering him. And the young guys get so excited, their eyes get big, their hands go up, and that's when the defender turns around and knocks the ball down like we just saw.
3rd down and 7 as Chris Crocker comes through to sack Donovan McNabb.
Well, that's the pressure Marvin Lewis talked about that they needed to bring.
Well, I think Brian Westbrook might have missed this one because it was a delayed blitz like you talk about. He's coming from the back. And watch Brian Westbrook in the backfield now. Looks like he's walking up, times it. I think Brian lost track of him, and then he's just not in the right position to be able to pick him up.
How about Crocker? Released by Miami, played 6 games for the Dolphins this season. In for the injured Ndukwe. He has an interception and a sack today.
He has played very, very well.
First trip to Paul Brown Stadium for the Philadelphia Eagles. They have not played in Cincinnati since 1994. They trail the Bengals 13-10.
They may not want to come back for another 14 years.
No. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bengals start from their own 20. Fitzpatrick setting up the screen to Benson. And Cedric Benson has a 1st down. Tackled by Stuart Bradley after gaining 18 yards. Well, next week, the 2nd half of our Fox NFL doubleheader, the New York Giants and the Arizona Cardinals. 2 first-place teams. Giants 8-1, leading Baltimore 27-10. And the Cardinals with a 4-game lead in the NFC West.
Kurt Warner, I mean, just having an outstanding season as the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Got a lot of weapons to work with, but he is really, really executing that offense at a high level. And The Giants, I've seen the Giants. I've seen Tennessee this year. I think the Giants are the best team in the NFL. I mean, they do everything very, very well. They're taking care of business against Baltimore this afternoon. Some people might have thought that after that big game against Philly, they might slip a little bit. But I am excited to see that game next week because those Arizona Cardinals are explosive, but the New York Giants, methodical in how they play this game.
I remember Kurt Warner was the starting quarterback for the Giants for the first portion of Eli Manning's rookie season back in 2004. Out to the 44, Cedric Benson, as we check in once again with Kurt.
In Atlanta, Michael Turner, huge hole for him, and he takes advantage. His second touchdown of the day, this one from 28 yards out. The Falcons regain the lead over Denver in the fourth quarter, 20-17. And you know what, Moose? If the Giants are the best team, the Falcons may be the most surprising right now. They're 6-3 and looking for another.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Mike Smith just done an incredible job in Atlanta, and Matt Ryan, man, just a great story down in Atlanta for those Falcons.
Falcons 4-0 at home this year. Third down and 3. Fitzpatrick moving to his left, down back at the 41-yard line. Chris Clemens. That is the 6th Eagles sack today.
Moose, you talked about it earlier, young quarterbacks. At some point, you know you're not going to be able to go and run that ball. You got to go and get rid of it, throw it out of bounds. Don't take the sack. Your offensive line will be happy about that, and you just go and start again.
You get outside that pocket, just get it beyond the line of scrimmage, and you're safe.
Fitzpatrick likes to run. He's done a nice job on his feet this year. He's led the Bengals in rushing in 2 games. Good kick, out of bounds. And the Eagles get a nice spot.
Well, who would have thought that this would have happened this afternoon? The savvy vet, Donovan McNabb, Ryan Fitzpatrick, not a lot of opportunities to start throughout his NFL career, but he has played better than Donovan this afternoon.
McNabb's pass is caught by Hank Baskett out at the 40-yard line, 17-yard pass play, and an Eagles first down.
And this could be a situation for the next couple of weeks where Donovan is going to have to carry this team. He can't have the mistakes like he's had this afternoon as the Eagles move forward.
3 interceptions and a fumble with 3 picks. Ties a career high for McNabb from the 40.
Oh, great play call into that.
Lobbing one up.
Just missed that one.
For Westbrook.
There was nobody around Brian Westbrook. If he catches that ball, he's still running, Moose.
That is just a great play call by Marty Morningweg. And whether that's from watching the film, here comes all your pressure, you slip Brian Westbrook out. Like you pointed out, Goose, there's not a whole lot out there on the left side of the field but Brian Westbrook.
Westbrook and Buckhalter in the backfield. 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. McNabb complete to Sean Jackson. First down at the Bengals 48-yard line.
I think that this is something that's kind of caught Cincinnati off guard. A lot of the Philadelphia passing game is between the numbers, but really one of the throws that they're going back to, and Mike Zimmer, he knows the Philadelphia Eagles and Donovan McNabb from his time in Dallas as the coordinator. The throw that they've had a lot of success with today is Deshaun Jackson on the comeback route on the outside.
Jackson a team high 4 receptions. Play clock at 2. From the 48, McNabb gets rid of it quickly to Jason Avant. And Avant gains 9 to the Bengals 39-yard line.
Starting to get into that rhythm where the ball starts to get distributed to everybody on this offense. And one of the reasons why this Eagle team likes to throw the ball so much, they have so many weapons on the outside. I think this is probably the best group that Donovan McNabb has had when you talk about wide receivers and playmakers on the outside throughout his entire career with the Philadelphia Eagles.
2nd down and 1. Westbrook, excuse me. Westbrook picks up the first down, takes it to the Bengals 28-yard line, gain of 10. Well, the Eagles like to spread it around throughout the season. 6 players with over 200 yards receiving.
Yeah, and it's a lot of weapons for a defense to worry about. Now, number one, you're going to be focused on Brian Westbrook as the key guy, but in the passing game, you can see there's a lot of people that have put up some good numbers. Hank Baskett, your big threat down the field, had a big play today, and Deshaun Jackson, as a rookie, I think has had to have surpassed anybody's expectations in Philadelphia.
They fake the end around. McNabb hands it off to Westbrook. And he gains just 1 as Jonathan Fanene makes the tackle.
You can see today kind of staying true to that formula of getting the ball spread around to all the different guys on the outside.
The Eagles now in that area, Daryl. They're on the 29. You look at the 3 interceptions thrown by McNabb. The Eagles were at the Bengals 22, the 34, and the 36 when he threw those 3 picks. Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 9. Bounces away from Kevin Curtis off his chest.
You sneak a peek, Goose.
That was just a bad placement of the ball there, right in the hands. I mean,
right between the 8 and the 0.
That's you're not going to see that very often with Curtis. He just he goes, he's wide open. He sits down in the zone right there. The ball's right at him. Instead of getting his hands at it, it lets it hit his shoulder pads and bounces right off. You got to go and use your hands, Moose. You know this. Catch the ball with your fingers.
8th play of the drive. 4 wide receivers. Eagles have to get to the 19 for a first down. McNabb, quick release. This time Curtis makes the catch. He is close to a first down. It will depend on the spot. Our yellow line is unofficial. Ball spotted just inside the 20.
That's a nice play by Kevin Curtis because he's about ready to drop his second one. Would have been a critical drop. At least he forces Andy Reid in this situation to make a decision if they come up short.
What
13 to 10.
What do you do, Moose? You got to kick the field goal.
I think you do with all the problems the Eagles have had.
Andy Reid's calling for jumbo. That's the jumbo sign.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? You've got to get this done. You've got to get this problem behind your offense. And you know, I've been a part of this. We got stuffed in Philadelphia twice on 4th and 1, and it starts to get into your head. Andy, he's going for it right here. Yeah, you take the easy field goal. Maybe you get it tied 13-13. In my opinion, this is a decision not based on today, but based on the rest of the year. This group needs some confidence in these situations.
But do you do it at the expense of easy points?
Quarterback sneak, guys. Donovan McNabb.
And it looks like McNabb has enough. He does.
You got that big offensive line. You got a strong quarterback like that. You got to know that play is coming. You got to get low. You see some of the Cincinnati Bengals defensive linemen, their helmets are too high. You got to stay low on that play and let the linebackers go and make the play. That's the only way you make it on that short yardage. I mean, you only have a couple inches to give up, but that's the best odds to stay low and try to trip those guys up.
So the Eagles successful on 4th and inches. 1st and 10 for the Bengals 18. McNabb with loads of time, and then he throws it through the end zone.
He could still be holding the ball. We talked about the Cincinnati Bengals rushing only 4 guys. They cannot get any pressure. They're running stunts up front. It's taking too much. The guys are standing straight up. Nobody's penetrating. You need to bring that 5th guy into the rotation. Right there, they're stoned on the line of scrimmage. I mean, you can't go and have that right there and not have anybody even getting close to Donovan McNabb.
3 wide receivers set, 2nd and 10. The toss to Deshaun Jackson. He was looking to throw, now he pulls it in and is tackled at the 13-yard line.
Goose, you talked about the Miami Dolphins challenging you as a defense with all their gadget plays. Philadelphia has thrown quite a few at the Bengals this afternoon.
Yeah, Deshaun is just a man to be reckoned with. He gets in that backfield. He's got the speed. He can throw the ball. I mean, you don't want to mess with Deshaun Jackson. He's a young guy. You know how them young guys are, Moose. They can bend and twist, and nothing ever hurts or gets broken with those guys.
Third down and 6. McNabb's pass caught at the 10-yard line by Brent Selleck, but he stopped just shy. So the Eagles and Andy Reid again facing a 4th down and short.
Think he's going to do it again, Goose?
No, he's got to kick the field goal, I think.
Why this time and not the previous?
You got 5 minutes, 45 seconds, or whatever it is right now. It's counting down. I don't know if Cincinnati goes and gets the ball. If you don't make it, Cincinnati goes, runs the clock out. You might not have enough time to get back down the field to kick the field goal.
I think the other one, too, is a little farther back. We showed you David Akers beyond 40 yards. Not as automatic as he once was early in his career. Now this is, obviously, this is a much easier field goal. This makes this decision a little bit harder for Andy Reid.
Timeout called by the Eagles. Andy will think about it.
Well, Andy Reid has made his decision. David Akers is out on the field. The first time on the 4th down, it would have been about a 37, 38-yard field goal. This one's only going to be 17, 18 yards here. So I agree with the decision. I like the call for the 4th down the first time, and I like the field goal here.
So it's a 27-yard attempt. Sav Rocca will place it down, and Akers ties the game at 13. With 5:18 remaining in the 4th quarter in Cincinnati. This January, Fox once again brings you the greatest week in college football, beginning with the FedEx Orange Bowl, the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and the FedEx BCS National Championship game. It's college football's biggest games this January only on Fox. 5:18 remaining in regulation as Akers kicks off to Glenn Holt. Takes it at the 5. Holt across the 30. Out of bounds, forced out by Quentin Michaels. So good starting field position for Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bengals following the 25-yard return by Holt.
Yeah, Quentin Demps came inside. If you're going to be the outside contained guy on kickoff coverage and you're going to squeeze, you cannot get out leveraged by the returner. He came in, did not make the play, and gave Glenn Holt the sideline.
Fitzpatrick, 20 of 28, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. TJ Houshmandzadeh, 8 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Cedric Benson, 35 yards on the ground. Bengals looking for their 2nd consecutive victory. They start from their own 31. 3 wide receivers on 1st down. The handoff to Benson, and he's hit in the backfield, hit for a loss. Jaquay Parker, the first Eagle in, along with Omar Gaither.
Well, any problem they had lingering from that game against the Giants where they were giving up runs on the perimeter, and kind of got that straightened out this afternoon.
I'll tell you what, this Eagle defense knows exactly when it's going to be a run play. They must have a great tip on that offensive, on an offense, because they're up on the line of scrimmage. They're 2-gap and they're getting separation. There's nowhere for Benson to run right now.
Eagles defense with 6 sacks, and they've also had to deal with some short fields following the 4 McNabb turnovers. 2nd and 12. Fitzpatrick to Houshmandzadeh. Houshmandzadeh to the 36-yard line, a gain of 7.
Well, that becomes one of those plays that you forget about during the course of the game. That fumble that gave Cincinnati the ball, 1st and goal, inside the 1-yard line, and Philadelphia is able to hold them to a field goal. And Jim Johnston, one of the things that he has always prided himself as a coordinator and what he challenges his players to do is hold the opposition to field goals. Do not give up touchdowns. They've always been one of the best in scoring defense in the NFL.
Each team only 1 touchdown today. 3rd down and 5. Fitzpatrick stays on his feet and now is tackled. Looks to be just shy of a 1st down. Brought down at the 40.
Trent Cole's had a great day, Goose. I mean, he has been coming off that edge all afternoon.
It doesn't matter who they had out there at left tackle. He was going bull rushing, penetration outside, does a nice job right here. Just going and knocking down the outside arm and just dipping that shoulder, getting pressure. Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, does a good job of getting away from it, tucking the ball, trying to get the first down, but a little shy.
Fans unhappy. They wanted the Bengals to go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 40.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say.
That was a fake?
Yeah, the guy, well, you could tell by the way Brad, why he was standing.
Penalty, 4th down.
Oh.
John Beasing is kind of standing upright. This is like the 3rd time this year we've seen a gadget play, and the team trying to execute it, whether it's been special teams or somebody on the offense, has let the clock become an issue and just completely botch something that you wait the entire game. Look at John Beasing, the way he's standing right there. I mean, he's not in a stance ready to pick up anybody.
But the Bengals ran out of time. Delay of game penalty. Punt taken at the 25 by Jackson. And Deshaun Jackson returns it all the way to the 41-yard line. Kyrus Hebert, the tackle on special teams. 40-yard punt, 16 on the return. Terrific field position for the Eagles.
Well, the fans up here in Cincinnati, obviously it's a 1-8 season, but they're not happy. And you know, Cincinnati, I have been impressed with the fan base here. This is right outside the stadium. Goose, we pulled in today, and you know, the support out in the parking lot, the tailgating. This is a good sports town, and I think that they all really have a tremendous amount of respect for Marvin Lewis and what he has done and the change he's made since he's been here as head coach. But they are frustrated. They want somebody else in the front office to help Marvin out.
Yeah, he definitely needs some support. And, you know, when he first came here to Cincinnati, he had changed a lot of things, but he needs more. You know, I think it was the Chris Henry, you know, he didn't want him back, and management did, and he thought that, you know, he could cause some problems in the locker room. And I think that was the big, you know, thing in town with the fans and support Marvin and what he's doing. And right now we have Deshaun Foster down on the field. Deshaun Jackson, I'm sorry. But, you know, Marvin's doing all he can, wearing a lot of hats here in Cincinnati to try and get it done.
And you look at his record year by year. 8-8 3 times, 11-5 playoff season in 05, 7-9 last year. So this year is really an aberration, and due in large part to the injury suffered by his starting quarterback, Carson Palmer.
Yeah, it's just, it started in preseason, and it's just built. They really haven't had an opportunity to get away from any of the adversity that has surrounded the organization. And, you know, I've been a part of a team that was 1-8 during the course of it. It's tough. It makes the practice week harder. But Marvin Lewis, he heaped a bunch of praise on his guys in the way that they prepare and work every week.
Now the Eagles with under 3 minutes remaining. McNabb to Kevin Curtis. Curtis makes the catch for a gain of 6.
I mean, a couple of big things for the Eagles in this game today. They went for a fourth and short on the last drive. They went down, kicked the field goal. Now, just, you know, that other thing, to be able to come out of a close game with a victory. One of the things that they've really, really struggled with this season.
The Eagles' losses have been by 4, 4, 6, and 5. Their average margin of victory is 18. They've won the blowouts. They've lost the close games as Westbrook takes it out to the 49, just shy of a first. So the Eagles, following the 2-minute warning, facing a 3rd down and 1 yet again in a tie game. Eagles 13 and the Bengals 13. Will this game come down to the foot of David Akers?
How about this script, though? The one area that they've struggled in all season, hanging in the balance again, 3rd and 1.
McNabb to throw, and it's batted down. Robert Gathers got a piece of it.
Nice job by Robert Gathers getting his hands up. Does a nice job with the bull rush. Gets the offensive lineman back on his heels about 2 or 3 yards deep. Gets his hands up. That's more irritating for a quarterback than anything, not being able to see downfield.
I cannot believe they continue to struggle in that facet of the game.
Rocca punting to Houshmandzadeh.
That was a bounce. You know, that wind causes a lot of problems on the drop sometimes, and it doesn't quite hit the punter's foot the way he wants to. We saw a shank right there by Rocca, right off to the left, the direction the wind is blowing where he's at.
Goose, a 17-yard punt by Rocca into the wind.
Wow, what an advantage for the Cincinnati Bengals right here with that punt.
You know, the big thing, though, Goose, is you challenged them at the top. You know, they gave up 38 points Sunday night to the New York Giants, and nobody really wanted to talk about the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. They've come out here today. They've played very, very well. They've been on short fields, have had sudden change all day. It's only fitting that they're out here on the field right now with a chance to kind of give the offense another opportunity or shut this thing down.
Fitzpatrick's pass, incomplete, dropped by Chad Johnston.
That's a big drop.
Bengals have all 3 of their timeouts. 1:44 on the clock.
You got to be able to keep your head in the game, though, Goose. I know it's hard for Chad Johnston. He really was only a part of this game on that 2-minute drill right at the end of the first half. Other than that, he really hasn't even had the ball thrown his way.
3 receptions for Johnston today, all on that one drive. 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick. And again, it's Samuel. Good coverage. Pass intended for Chris Henry.
Well, you talked about that Philadelphia Eagles defense. Are doing a great job on these last 2 plays. Great coverage.
All day long.
Right there by Asante Samuel.
I mean, all day, Goose. Whether it's Chad or TJ, I mean, he has been great in coverage today. And you've had 2 incompletes. This clock has not moved very much. They get another one here. Philadelphia is going to have some time.
3rd down and 10. Fitzpatrick with loads of time. He throws, and Quick Michael gets his hand in. Pass again intended for Chris Henry, so the Eagles will get the ball back after only 16 seconds of elapsed time.
That's exactly what happens when you don't have a run game, Moose. If they had a run game right here, the Cincinnati Bengals, they could go and run down the clock, eat it up a little bit, get a couple first downs, but they're forced to go to the air 3 consecutive times. We saw 3 great defensive plays right there, but you know, now the Eagles get the ball back with 1:30 something left on the clock.
Well, 2 good defensive plays and a drop, right?
Yeah, but
Chad Johnston unable to make the catch on 1st down. And now Deshaun Jackson, fair catch at the 28. So the Bengals got the ball with 1:48. And now with 1:25 remaining, another chance for Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. And Daryl, you've been talking about the 3rd and 1 plays. Eagles have had 3 3rd and 1s today. They passed on all 3 and did not convert. 0 for 3 on 3rd and 1. They did convert on the 4th and 1 quarterback sneak.
Yeah, I mean, it was less than a yard, but, you know, about a half a yard on that one. And like Tony said, you get Donovan McNabb, who's a big quarterback. You've got the biggest offensive line in the NFL. You know, let them come off the ball, get in behind them. I would have tried it on the 3rd and 1.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. McNabb incomplete, looking for Deshaun Jackson. Winds up on his back. Eagles 0-4 in games decided by 6 or less. 4-point losses at Dallas, at Chicago. 5-point loss to the Giants on Sunday. 6-point loss at home to the Redskins. Second and 10. McNabb under pressure, throws it away.
Trying to get that screen again, Moose.
It's good. It's a good play call by Mike Zimmer on the defensive side for Cincinnati. It's a safe play. You've got 2nd and 10. You want to get something positive. Good anticipation of a screen or a draw in that situation.
Brandon Johnston sniffed that out really quick, went right down the line of scrimmage. There was no way they were going to complete that ball.
McNabb on 3rd and 10. Loads of time. Good coverage downfield. Now he throws. And Brian Westbrook was the intended receiver. Dahani Jones on the coverage.
Dahani Jones does a great job of staying with Brian Westbrook the whole time. Look at the change of direction right here. It's Donovan McNabb breaks out. That is great athleticism by Dahani Jones. They thought he got there a little bit early. Too close in that situation.
So now, after only 22 seconds of elapsed time during the Eagles drive, the Bengals will get the ball back.
Man, he got another
bad punt.
17 yards on the last punt by Rocca. This one just 31 into the wind. So with 56 seconds remaining in regulation, the Bengals will start from their own 40. Shane Graham, season-long 45-yard field goal, career-long 53.
Got a little wind to his back, too, Kenny. Thinking in that direction.
You're absolutely right, Goose. Welcome to those of you who have been watching the Packers and the Bears. Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Cincinnati. Ryan Fitzpatrick's pass is caught by Chris Henry. The Bengals and the Eagles are tied at 13. We're in the final minute of regulation. And the Bengals with a 2nd and 2 from their own 48. Fitzpatrick sets up the screen. Incomplete to Perry.
That was the best thing that could have happened in that situation, was for that thing to be incomplete, because Chris Clemens saw it coming the whole way. They're going to get tackled for a loss and have to burn a timeout.
No scoring in the first quarter today. Bengals led 10-3 at the half. Donovan McNabb has tied his career high with 3 interceptions. Bengals scoring 10 points off turnovers, and a big day for TJ Houshmandzadeh. 3rd down and 2. Fitzpatrick wrapped up, sacked for the 7th time today. Darren Howard with his 7th sack of the season.
I don't know, Moose. It doesn't look like he has the speed or the ability to get away from these defensive linemen when he has the pressure on him. He wants to run, but he just cannot escape those Eagles defensive linemen.
We welcome those of you joining us from the Buccaneers-Vikings game, a 19-13 win for Tampa Bay. Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Eagles and Bengals are tied at 13 with 20 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Bengals' only touchdown, 26-yard pass, Ryan Fitzpatrick to TJ Houshmandzadeh in the 2nd quarter. L.J. Smith reaching the end zone for the Eagles in the 3rd quarter. We are tied at 13 as the Bengals get set to punt. We have had 5 straight 3-and-outs here in the 4th quarter.
TJ Houshmandzadeh, man, he wants the ball. He wants to find a way to win. He's a winner out there. He wants to do anything he can. Sometimes maybe it's a little even too much, Moose.
Yeah, you walk that fine line. And we enjoyed talking to him on Friday afternoon, but sometimes he just needs to tone it down a tad.
Kyle Larson punching from his own 34 to Deshaun Jackson, a rookie out of Cal. Jackson across the 30, out of bounds at the 33 with 8 seconds remaining in regulation. A 38-yard punt, 16 on the return. The Eagles 5-4, coming off their Sunday night loss to the Giants. Bengals 1 up, 8 down. They beat Jacksonville in their last game. Bengals have been without their starting quarterback Carson Palmer. Ryan Fitzpatrick starting for the 6th time this season. So Donovan McNabb, who has turned the ball over 4 times. And the Eagles with 8 seconds remaining in a 13-13 game. Four wide receivers. Eagles keep it on the ground with Brian Westbrook. Penalty marker as Westbrook is tackled at the 44.
Holding offense, number 81. As this is the last play of the period by the offense, the period will not be extended. We will go to overtime.
So the Cincinnati Bengals heading to overtime for the 2nd time this season against an NFC East club. They took the Giants to overtime on the road back in September.
They played the Cowboys tough after that Giant game. So they've had some very good games against the NFC East.
Lost 26-23 to the Giants in overtime. Lost by 9 to Dallas, and now the Bengals and the Eagles heading to overtime here in Cincinnati. The 10th overtime game of the NFL this season.
The 2 that we've had so far this year, it's been the team that has won the toss has gone right down the field.
Now playing 1 15-minute overtime period. If neither team scores, the
Both
game will be
kickers
declared a tie.
Getting some practice
Each team
in.
will be allotted 2 timeouts, and all replays will come from the replay booth. Captains from Philadelphia who will call the toss. Number 82, the head, the tail. What will your call be? Number 82 calls heads. It is heads. Philadelphia wish to take the football. Would you please reverse goals?
So the Eagles will get the ball first.
Has won the toss.
It'll be their first overtime game since September of 2006, a loss to the New York Giants. The Philadelphia Eagles have never won in Cincinnati. They've played her only 3 times previously. 1971 with Virgil Carter at quarterback for the Bengals. 1979, Bengals led by Ken Anderson and Archie Griffin. And then in 94, Jeff Blake to Tony McGee. Bengals 3-0 at home against the Eagles. We go to overtime today. Tied at 13.
Hey Goose, what happened? We've been talking about the win going the way the Philadelphia Eagles are going the whole time. They win the toss and take the ball. Cincinnati gave them the win too.
Yeah, it's I don't know. This win sort of died down a little bit. I don't know. They think that, hey, listen, let's give them all the advantage they can so we can come out here and win this game. No problem. Looks like the wind might have changed a little bit, Bruce.
Quentin Demps on the return for the Eagles. Ooh. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Saints and the Chiefs. Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Cincinnati. We are in overtime. Donovan McNabb, 4 turnovers today, 3 interceptions and a fumble, leading to 10 of the Bengals' 13 points. But the Eagles have come back from a 13-3 deficit. McNabb, 4-yard touchdown pass to L.J. Smith in the 3rd quarter, and then the only scoring in the 4th, a 27-yard David Akers field goal. Tied at 13, Eagles will start from their own 23-yard line.
Now this Cincinnati Bengals defense has given Donovan McNabb time in the pocket to throw the ball. He's been very successful.
Complete to Kevin Curtis. And Curtis has a first down. Curtis out to the 37. Ironically, Curtis has scored a touchdown in overtime. It was back in 2005 with the Rams. Who threw the pass? Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Bengals starting quarterback today.
Only you would have that information, Kenny Albert. Only you. I tell you, this Bengals defense has played well today, Tony. You know, and they have played well throughout the year. One of the things at 1-8, this defense has put together performances good enough to win games.
Westbrook up the middle. Westbrook gaining 3 out to the 40.
That's one thing about this Cincinnati defense. When they go and bring pressure, they gain another guy in the run game to stop Brian Westbrook. They need to bring that 5th component in and not just run 4, because they've been getting stoned all day and only rushing 4 guys up on the line of scrimmage.
McNabb, 303 yards in the air. First time the Bengals have allowed a 300-yard passer in 24 games. Wildcat formation, Deshaun Jackson to Brian Westbrook, and Westbrook is tackled back at the 37 by Brandon Johnston, a loss of 3.
Again, it comes back to, just the trickery, the formations, overtime. What are you going to hang your hat on? It's an exotic front. We were out here at practice on Friday. We watched the Bengals practice against the Wildcat formation. They expected it in the red zone, the way they ran it Sunday night against the Giants, but it was something that they were very prepared for.
Eagles are just 3 for 15 on 3rd down today. They have to get to the 47. McNabb firing. Jason Avant makes the catch at the 47. Excuse me, at the 42. He's 5 yards shy of the 1st down marker.
Let's see if Siragusa can get off a decent punt. The end of that game, he had 2 opportunities to kick this way. One was 17, and one was, what did the other one get out? Whopping 31?
17 and 31.
He did practice during the coin flip, though, Moose.
Punt taken at the 21 by Houshmandzadeh. Penalty marker. Houshmandzadeh filling in for the injured Antonio Chapman, who suffered an injury earlier today, and he's had a couple of nice punt returns.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this is going to be the 3rd penalty on a punt return by the Bengals if it goes against them.
During the return of the kick, holding receiving team number 49, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on Daniel Coates. It will erase Houshmandzadeh's 22-yard return.
And that's his 2nd one on the punt return. TJ Houshmandzadeh had put them in great field position to start this drive.
But instead, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 23.
I tell you what, I didn't get to see all of it, but it looked like his hands were in the framework of the body. If you take a guy to the ground in the NFL, they will throw the flag.
Across the 25.
But that one looked to me as though Daniel Coates had just put on a good block. He got inside, got locked up, and took his guy to the ground. Just buried him.
Reggie Kelly shaken up. Cedric Benson gained 2 on 1st down. One more look at the penalty. Number 49, middle of the screen, Daniel Coates.
That just looks like a good block to me, Moose. Looked like he stayed on him. He tried to reach out to go and make the tackle and just ran him over and pancaked him. Should have held him up.
From the 25, it's Benson again. Benson gains 3 out to the 28.
This crowd down here is not real happy with 2 runs by Cedric Benson. Really had nothing going this whole game as far as the run game with Cincinnati Bengals. Not a lot of big holes, a lot of left to right, east to west running. Not a lot upfield. We saw 2 right there, but this Eagles defense is zoned in on that run.
TJ Houshmandzadeh is in the middle of the formation now to the right side. He's had the big day this afternoon.
Bengals have to get to the 33. It's Houshmandzadeh. 1st down, Cincinnati.
You noticed it, Moose, but that defense didn't, I guess.
Well, that was a good throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick because, again, Joselio Hansen's in pretty good position with the coverage. But just by being able to split him out, you see they've got Chris Henry all the way to the outside. That's where Asante Samuel has gone. In that situation, I know it'd be a change of what they've done all afternoon, but if I was Jim Johnston, I might have said, hey, Asante, find 84 and get on that guy.
1st and 10, 39-yard line for the Bengals. We are in overtime. Off the play fake. Fitzpatrick, little shovel pass.
Don't get cute.
I think he wanted to run, then he pulled it back. He was afraid he was across the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Daniel Colts thought he was going to run. You know, it's hard for him to change direction. He's number 49 that's out. He sees him running. He goes, oh, he's got to be going. No, he's going to flip it to me. He had some room to run if he could have connected.
They've all been watching Brett Favre over his whole career. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Brett gets those accomplished, huh, Murray?
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick on 2nd and 10. And the catch is made at the 49-yard line. That is the 600th career reception, 4th today for Chad Johnston.
We've got him split out to the outside on the top against Lito Shepherd. Boy, I tell you, you've got Chad Johnston and TJ Hushmanzada right in the same area.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's really threading the needle, man. He's throwing into some tight coverage.
First Bengal in franchise history to reach 600. 1st and 10, inside shovel pass. And Benson is tackled by Bunkley.
You had to like that one, Goose.
Well, a little change up right there. It would have been nice if Cedric Benson would have, ran through an arm tackle right there, but we haven't seen that out of him today.
Well, that was a good play by Broderick Bunkley, working down the line of scrimmage.
This is the 16th drive of the game for the Bengals. Eagles have had 16 possessions. Each team, 1 touchdown. The wind has played a factor. 2nd and 10. The toss, Benson bobbled it a couple of times and is tackled at the Eagles' 46-yard line by Darren Howard. So a 3rd and 6 coming up for the Bengals with under 9 minutes to play in overtime.
Well, now that the Eagles defense has got to locate number 84 on this play. He's been the go-to guy all afternoon. Levi Jones has been in and out during the course of the game today. Looks like he's nicked up a little bit again, getting back to the huddle. He's going up against Trent Cole, who's had a heck of a day. So 2 things to watch on this play: the battle at left tackle, and where's 84? Here he comes in motion.
Third down and 6. Bengals keep it on the ground. And Perry is tackled by Trent Cole. How many times have we mentioned Cole's name today? The University of Cincinnati product. And the Bengals send out the punting unit.
Well, you had a lot of boos here by the Cincinnati Bengal fans, and I think you get a blitz look shown by Jim Johnston. It must have been something in the game plan to audible out of that play. You heard Ryan Fitzpatrick at the line of scrimmage. He killed that play and moved it to a run play on the perimeter. Didn't work out.
Tenth punt today for Kyle Larson. And it pins Deshaun Jackson. Forced out of bounds at the 11. 38-yard punt, only 2 on the return. Tonight on Fox, Animation Domination is all new, starting with The Simpsons at 8/7 Central. Then all new laughs from King of the Hill, Family Guy, and American Dad. Viewer discretion is advised. Worst starting field position of the day for the Eagles has been the 11. They start this drive at their own 12. We are midway through sudden death overtime. 5-4 Eagles, 1-8 Bengals, deadlocked at 13. Curtis in motion. Off the play fake. McNabb complete to the fullback, Dan Klecko. First time the ball has been in Klecko's hands today. And he gains 8 yards out to the 20.
Well, that shows you the confidence that Donovan McNabb has in the people around him to kind of come back. Whatever the defense is doing, there's going to be somewhere where that ball should go. And even if it's Dan Klecko, converted defensive tackle, playing the fullback position for the Eagles, he has the confidence to throw the ball out there in the flat in overtime.
Those defensive linemen are very athletic.
That was pretty good.
Now the inside handoff to Westbrook, and he picks up a first down. That reception by Klecko, his second of the season. Giants with a 30-10 win over the Ravens. So the Giants now 9-1, unbeaten in the division. Redskins and Cowboys later tonight in our nation's capital. Eagles will play the Ravens in Baltimore next week. Penalty markers on first down.
False start, offense, number 49. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So Klecko, a reception moments ago, 2 plays later, a penalty.
Yeah, he might have got locked in on the blitzer for the Cincinnati Bengals. As soon as the blitzer started his course, I think Dan took off on his.
Get a little excited. Want to go and hit somebody at that fullback position.
And that penalty, guys, the first against the Eagles since the first quarter. Remember, their defense called for 3 penalties on 1 drive. They have not been flagged since. 1st and 15. McNabb with loads of time, another penalty marker. As the catch was made, it's ruled a catch. Kevin Curtis at the 38-yard line. But looks like it's against the Eagles. It's coming back.
Pass interference, offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
First Klecko, now Curtis.
Let's see if Kevin Curtis at the top of the route gets a little bit of a shove on Leon Hall. He gets that arm extended, and you see the separation he created.
So this will force the Eagles back to the 12-yard line. 1st and 25. 5.5 remaining in overtime. McNabb complete out at the 26-yard line. It's Curtis. Gain of 14.
Putting a lot of pressure on that secondary with those guys up front. I don't know how many times I can go and show everybody at home that there's no pressure from that defensive line. They're getting stopped on the line of scrimmage. Donovan has all day in the backfield, and they got to come up. Cincinnati Bengals have got to come up with somebody to go and rush the passer, that 5th man, to bring that element in there, so at least everybody on the line of scrimmage has a one-on-one block. Right here they're showing blitz. They should be able to get some pressure in this situation.
Play clock wound all the way down.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
3rd penalty of the drive against the Eagles.
And they're one of the better teams in the NFL when you talk about penalties. Surprising with the game hanging in the balance that this offense has been called for 3 penalties on this drive.
In case you're wondering, there has not been a tie game in the National Football League since November of 2002. 2nd and 16 following the delay of game penalty. McNabb nearly intercepted for the 4th time today. Jonathan Joseph had one earlier.
That ball seems like it just sailed away from him, Moose.
Oh, it got going. It got up there and it kept floating on him. Oh, Jonathan Joseph, he's in a perfect position to make a huge play for his team.
Third down and 16. Eagles must get to the 37. McNabb throws it out of bounds.
They got their pressure on that one, Goose. They got him flushed out of the pocket.
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to force him into bad throws, keep him moving. You know, he's not the same old Donovan McNabb that we know that does really a great job when he gets on the edges. He likes sitting in the pocket. He's very comfortable after his ACL injury that he had. If you chase him out of there, that's when you're going to go and get things happening. Oh, Siragusa again. Wow, with a bad punt.
End over end. Earlier punts of 17 and 31 yards. This one, 34. So with 4:12 remaining in overtime, the Bengals will start from their own 45. We take you back to the first quarter. McNabb sacked by Gathers. Ball comes loose. Frosty Rucker. Did he cross the goal line? He was ruled down on the 1. The Bengals did not challenge. And then a great job by the Eagles defense. Cincinnati settling for 3.
A great job by the Philly defense in a sudden change situation. 1st and goal at the 1. Hold the Bengals to a field goal. That's been the difference right now.
You wonder how the game would have played out had that been ruled a touchdown or had Marvin Lewis challenged. Fitzpatrick to the outside. Hushman's out of it. A terrific tackle. Lito Shepard. Gain of just 2. You saw the last tie game was back in November of 2002. Pittsburgh and Atlanta. 6 years ago this past Monday. Problem with the play clock, so they will keep the time on the field on a stopwatch. 3:45 remaining in overtime. A reminder, Shane Graham, the Bengals place kicker, season-long 45, career-long 53. Fitzpatrick complete. Down to the 45-yard line, Reggie Kelly. Kelly just shy of a first.
The Bengals also have to be aware of this clock. 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Here they go with a hurry up. I don't know if that's what they want to do. I don't know, Moose. I would want to run that clock down to give Philly, you know, if they do not convert, give Philly a little less time to go and get an offensive drive going.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Philadelphia has shown today is the explosive ability of this offense. Calling for a measurement on this play, I think. But I agree with you, Goose. You know, the one thing you want to do here is just kind of get back into your normal mode.
The question
you're
is
over 3
whether the
minutes.
line of gain was made. It is 3rd down. It was short.
So it will be 3rd down and inches for the Bengals.
I agree with you, Tony. I mean, you know, convert this, get into your normal offensive flow, try and get down the field, give Shane Graham an opportunity for the field goal, but don't get into a hurry up and all of a sudden give the ball back to Philadelphia outside 2 minutes.
Fitzpatrick on the sneak.
He didn't have it in the beginning. He had a second burst there. See where he goes and ends up with it. As Kenny always says, that yellow line is unofficial.
Now, one of your big things, Goose, though, the tailback was so far back in the backfield that he kind of tipped his hand to everybody that this was going to be a quarterback sneak.
Terrific second effort by Fitzpatrick.
Philadelphia does a great job of getting down low, knocking those guys back. But like Kenny said, Ryan Fitzpatrick finds a nice little seam there and sneaks right in there, and it looks like he's got the first down.
They are looking at it upstairs. Remember, there are no coach challenges in overtime. Everything comes from the booth. And the question is, when did Fitzpatrick's knee hit the ground?
The review is to determine the runner's progress as related to a first down.
Now, it was ruled a first down on the field, so there must be conclusive evidence that his knee was down first in order to overturn the call.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to see anything in that jumbo right there.
Yeah, but he didn't get much farther on that one. Once his knees hit, you know, he was kind of so low that there was no way for him to drive even a little bit forward to kind of sneak a little bit forward once he was down. And like you said, Goose, you can't tell anything. in that mishmash.
Again, Fitzpatrick back at 05 with the Rams. Led St. Louis to an overtime victory against Houston, but then lost his first 7 starts as an NFL quarterback before winning 2 weeks ago against Jacksonville.
Well, he does a nice job because somebody got penetration right away, kind of knocked his feet back. So that was a great second effort by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, there's no way you could see where the ball actually was when his knee goes down. Just a lot of bodies there, so. Great second effort, though. This is probably our best view. You still can't see the human jambalaya there.
So it will either be a first down or a 4th and inches. Here comes Tony Correnti.
After the review, the ruling on the field will stand. It is a first down.
Yeah, I think it would have been hard to overturn that. Hard to see exactly where the ball was when his knee hit. So Fitzpatrick picks up the first down, 2:26 remaining in overtime. Line of scrimmage, the Eagles 45. And now Philadelphia will use a timeout.
Shane Graham getting ready. His season long this year, 45 yards. That means they'd have to get down around the 27, 28-yard line, which gives them, I don't know, about 17 yards to go.
He does have the wind to his back, though, Moose. That's one advantage that they do have going in this direction. You only got 2 minutes and 18 seconds left on the clock, so even if it's an extra long field goal, you can still take it.
What you're looking at now, this was on the other end of the field, in between the 4th quarter and overtime. That was into the wind.
Yeah, I'm standing underneath the field, the goal post right now, and the flags are facing away from the field, so he will have the wind to his back.
Again, the last tie game in the NFL, November of 2002, Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Bengals have not played a tie game since 1969. 1st and 10. From the Philadelphia 45. Fitzpatrick complete, Benson, but he's tackled by Darren Howard back at the 46-yard line, so Cedric Benson loses a yard on the play. And now the Eagles call another timeout. So Philadelphia has used both of their timeouts in overtime. They stop the clock, so the Bengals will run another play prior to the 2-minute warning. Next week, many of you will see the 49ers and the Cowboys in our early game. Eagles will travel to Baltimore, and then we will be in Phoenix, Arizona for the Giants and the Cardinals. Washington Redskins will travel out to Seattle. Check local listings for the games and times in your area next Sunday on Fox. We may still be here. Boy, this game is gone.
Moose, I like what you said earlier about at some point you got to take a shot down the field. It's just like a punt, and they have the receivers that can go down and get the ball.
Let's see what the Bengals have called here on 2nd down and 11. Intended for Chad Johnston. Again, it's Asante Samuel, who's had a strong game. Samuel on the coverage.
He really has a strong game, and when you get the balanced front like you had right here, Asante Samuel has played left corner all afternoon for the Eagles. Whoever has come to the offensive right has drawn Asante Samuel, and he's kind of risen to it each time. That ball a little bit behind Chad Johnston. Ryan Fitzpatrick a little bit late with that throw, but I would have gone to the top, worked TJ Houshmandzadeh away from Asante Samuel.
Samuel has broken up 4 passes today.
TJ's up in the slot to the top.
3rd down and 11. Fitzpatrick in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 46-yard line. Darren Howard bringing down Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's Howard's 2nd sack today. It's the 8th sack for Jim Johnston's defense.
Good spot for a fake. We saw a possibility earlier. Then they had a penalty that actually the game clock expired, but there was a fake in the game plan for Marvin Lewis.
You know who else has had a good game this afternoon, Goose, is Chris Clemens. They've kind of had him off the line of scrimmage. You know, a guy who's more like a defensive end, kind of playing from a two-point stance all afternoon. He's gotten a lot of pressure along with Trent Cole this afternoon.
He really has. Nice pressure up front. He's ran all over the field. Actually stand up, dropped into coverage a couple times. He's done it all today.
How often do I get to say that we have reached the 2-minute warning in overtime? Eagles with no timeouts remaining. Deshaun Jackson back deep. Larson punting from the 42-yard line. Taken out the 11 by Jackson. And wiggles his way out to the 13-yard line. 35-yard punt. Great job by our entire crew today, hanging in there during this extra period. Our producer Pete Macheska, director Michael Frank, associate directors Jeremy Green and Larry Lancaster, associate producer Chirag Devaskar, our technical producer Dan Rotante, technical director Chris Castro. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Dave Corris crunching the numbers along with Ben Bowman, Rick Camps, and Matt Banovic.
And our field producer, too, Lou Tribbiani.
We saved the best for last.
Absolutely.
Sweet Lou. 17th drive for the Eagles on offense today. They've gained 382 yards. Turned it over 4 times, only 1 touchdown. And McNabb's pass was tipped by Philadelphia native John Thornton.
Now the Cincinnati Bengals also have 2 timeouts left with that tip ball right there. They only ran a couple seconds off the clock. So if they could stop them on the next 2 plays, forcing the punt, they're going to have time to go and have a chance to go and run a little offense here.
Goose, 55 attempts for McNabb, ties his career high. Second and 10. Tipped again.
They're doing a great job of getting their hands up. That was Fletcher. Comes in on the pass rush. Sees Donovan going wind up first. Throw downfield. Gets a great vertical jump and tips the ball. That's the second one consecutively we've seen today. There he goes. He gets up, gets some height. Opportunities in the secondary when they get them balls tipped on the line of scrimmage for interceptions. Unbelievable.
Minute 42 remaining in overtime. 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles. McNabb complete underneath to Curtis. And Curtis fighting his way towards the 1st down line. But he stopped a yard shy.
Well, the critical spot right now is the fact that Siragusa is coming out to punt. You know, he has really struggled going this direction, the end of regulation and here in overtime. So as you pointed out, Tony, you know, the incomplete passes and then the ability for Cincinnati to call that timeout. We're sitting at a minute 30. And Siragusa has probably averaged over his last 3 punts going this direction about 24 yards.
Last 3 punts, 17, 31, 34. Do you think the Eagles even considered going forward here on 4th and 1?
Absolutely not. It's the Achilles heels of the team. You know, they have not been able to convert on 3rd and 4th and short. It's happened again today. You had your chance. You didn't do anything with the ball. You got to kick it and play defense.
End over end kick. And it comes to a stop at the 40. You know, it's funny. We'll start looking at all the playoff scenarios in a couple of weeks, and you always see, you know, if this team wins or ties, and you never expect a tie. But as you look ahead, should this game finish tied, what does a tie do for the Eagles? Well, it's better than a loss, but it's not as good as a win.
No, and the thing that helps them, it's an AFC opponent. So when you get into tiebreakers, it's going to be the division and your conference, and that's an area that Philadelphia has really struggled in. They're 0-3 in the division, and their 4 losses are all in the NFC. So a tie here probably doesn't hurt them a whole lot. But from a confidence standpoint, to come into a stadium with a team that's 1-8 and walk out with a tie, not a good feeling.
Fitzpatrick on first down, complete. There's a penalty flag. Catch made by Houshmandzadeh at the 49.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 24. Lowered his head into the quarterback. 15-yard penalty will be added on first down.
Oh, that's going to be a big penalty right there.
All right, lowered your head into the quarterback. He might have launched himself. I'll buy the launch. But there's no helmet contact. It's his shoulder. I don't know. We're talking about the game hanging in the balance. And, Goose, you and I, neither one of us are real big fans. I mean, I understand how important a quarterback is. We've got a great example of what's happened to the Bengals with Carson Palmer out of the lineup, but they've gone too far that direction.
Yeah,
they've gone way too far that direction.
That was not a great call there.
So 15 yards added on following the Sheldon Brown penalty. This is Chris Perry down to the 29. So at this point, if the Bengals were to kick from this spot, it would be about a 47-yard field goal attempt for Graham. Perry is slow to get up.
Yeah, one of his teammates needed to try and help him get to his feet and get off the field.
Bengals forced to use their final timeout.
And that takes away kind of the middle of the field for you. They're doing okay with time. They've got 52 seconds. It's not as critical as it could be.
It's still, if you see one of your players down and you know the clock is running down like that, you got to grab him and carry him to the sideline.
Unfortunately, that situation, Chris he's not all there right now. I don't think somebody would have been able to get him up and off to the sideline to hold that timeout.
52 seconds remaining in overtime. Line of scrimmage is the Eagles' 29. Again, Graham's season long is 45, career long 53. Bengals facing a 2nd down and 5 from the Eagles' 29.
The question came from Cincinnati whether they could use their timeout in lieu of 10 seconds. The answer is no. They had timeouts available and must use them in this situation. 2nd down.
Doesn't hurt to ask. Not a bad thought process by Marvin Lewis. You got 52 seconds left. We'll take it down to 42, but let us keep that timeout. Tony Correni says no way.
You have a timeout, you must use it. From the 29, Fitzpatrick. Bobble dropped by Houshmandzadeh.
Boy, that looked close, like Lito Shepherd was going to get that tip and go the other way with it.
T.J. Houshmandzadeh with 12 receptions today, 149 yards. Could not hold on to this one.
He's got his hands down. If T.J. Houshmandzadeh doesn't get his hand up and deflect that a little bit, you could see as Lito Shepherd came up, he had his hands down in case it came overthrown cleanly.
3rd down and 5. Benson into the pile. So now, with no timeouts, the Bengals trot the field goal unit onto the field. This will be approximately a 47 or 48-yard attempt.
All they have to worry about is the game clock right now. Counting down, that's back on.
Larson, the holder, setting up at the 37-yard line. A 47-yard attempt, which would be a season long for Shane Graham. Ball is placed down. The kick by Graham is no good. Wide to the right.
There's 7 seconds left on the clock. Still for one more play for Philadelphia.
Well, that's kind of a summation of how the season has gone for the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, they hang in there, they fight, they claw all the way through the game. They got a shot to win it and can't get it done.
The Bengals' last tie pre-overtime, 1969 against Houston. The Eagles' last tie, Tony, 10-10 at Baltimore, 1997. McNabb, final seconds of overtime. McNabb firing downfield, and it's broken up. Knocked down at the 5-yard line by Marvin White. The first tie game in the National Football League since Atlanta and Pittsburgh in 2002. Nobody knows how to react. Eagles 13, Bengals 13. It's over.